Hey kids, welcome to this special episode of the SML podcast. Today's special is a discussion about all things related to pins and balls. Balls. And for once, it has nothing to do with bowling or testicular piercings. And now for the drunken cold open. Compliments of Grant Henry.
I have an intro I whipped together. Joe, can I just do it real quick?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of Ball Squad with Zen Studios and Farsight and SML. This is a weekly show that's happening every week with everyone here every week until at least 2019.
Right. Well, I don't have shit going on, so I'm down with whatever you guys want.
Think? Good?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah, Ball Squad, weekly.
Ball Squad. Oh, okay, I'm done. Joe, you can do your thing.
Ball Squad, shoot for the skill shot, it's a house ball. Ball Squad, shoot the green like a mock shack fly. Mike is the simulator, Mel is the zen. Show with the milky voice, image the U buffet. Ball Squad, with a Ball Squad.
What's up, everyone? This is the SML podcast. I am your host, Joe. CJ and all the other fun shit's going to happen later on, but we are kicking off the show with probably one of the best guest lineups we've ever had on the show. My honorary co-host for the beginning part of this show, Grant Henry. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm fine, Joe. Thanks for having me.
We all know what happens when you're on the show, right?
We talk about role-playing games.
Indeed.
Right?
So, joining us from Square Enix. No. This is the Pinball Gods Have Aligned, and joining us today, we have Mel Kirk of Zen Studios. Welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
Hey, thanks for having me back. I'm doing outstanding today. Thank you.
And then we also have Mike Lindsey of Farsight Studios and Pinball Arcade. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
It's a pleasure to have all of you here. I think this is a world first. We have Pinball FX and Pinball Arcade on the same show.
Yeah, I do believe you're the first to pull this one together.
So how did I do this?
Just an email. It seemed pretty easy.
Because you, my sir, are ambitious beyond measure.
I guess true. So.
I think that's actually what it is.
See, all you gotta do is do a podcast for 4.5 years, 300 episodes, and you too could get guests like this. So how's everybody doing today? What's going on? What's good in California since you guys are all like huddled together in the same part of the world?
It's hot.
Yeah, it is hot. We had a crazy day today at Zen. We announced the game, and so it's been a day of just hearing back from players and knowing what's going on and planning the release. So it's I don't know if you guys saw, we announced Universal Classics Pinball today.
Yeah, that's hot. What do you think you're doing making pinball games for some of my favorite movies, arguably some of the best made? What do you think you're doing, man? Jaws Pinball.
How dare you, sir?
How dare you?
Yeah,
incredible.
We're going to need a bigger boat. It's like we're to the point, and Mike probably can chime in on this too, where like you've done something for so long and different things, it starts to kind of feel repetitive. So you want to get outside into new creative space. And like we just literally asked our guys, what do you want to work on? And 2 of the 3 of these came back as like their top choices, and we had to find something else to throw in there too. So there you go.
Yeah, definitely. We've been releasing tables monthly for almost 100 months now.
Whoa,
So,
that's
I feel
such
you
a
on that.
crazy streak,
anniversary.
too.
It's an anniversary. It's the 100th month anniversary of.
Yeah, we're not quite to 100 yet. I think we're at like almost 90 or something now. I'll have to count again. We've got a lot.
It's crazy.
Has anyone released such a consistent stream of DLC over that long of a time period?
I don't know about the time period, but I think Rock Band is pretty up there.
I was just going to throw out Harmonix. Yeah, I think the Rock Band guys, they might have matched that streak, but man, 100, that's amazing. So congrats, guys.
Thanks, man.
So you're both here to talk about pinball accomplishments. New tables coming from Zen, a streak possible record being set by Farsight. So the question on everybody's mind, when are you guys working together? We knew the question was going to come, so why not just get it out of the way?
Yeah. Well,
every time I've had you guys on, I asked Mike, hey, when are you guys ever going to partner up with Zen? When Mel was on, hey, have you guys ever thought about partnering up with Farsight? Now you guys are both here.
I think what we need is your ideas. Remember last time I had my notebook and I was writing all that stuff down.
All those notes are in the garbage.
I'm really good at Google Docs here. I'm sure we can have a brief put together by the end of the call, guys. Some suggestions from the chat.
I'm trying to think of a really good answer, but I don't know. I think we have to come up with obviously something that there's like overlap and puts everybody together in a good position. But man, there's got to be a project out there somewhere.
Yeah, it would definitely be beneficial because we definitely share. I think most of our players.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I still think some of your players hate us a lot, though.
Well, it's the other way around too, We always get the they're better than you or you're better than her, whatever. But this is how it goes.
Yeah. I do think that it would be good for pinball in general to have alignment between Farsight and Zen, and also like pulling in Stern into the picture and maybe Jersey Jack, but just for the whole game collectively because it's growing and there's a lot of new exciting mediums and ways to play the game. I think the leaders like us, sure we're all doing our own thing, but there's some way to just capture all the energy, excitement, and passion and put it together into something.
Yeah.
And you guys are leading that. I mean, I guess there are other video pinball options and things out there, and I guess there's a lot more on in the mobile space, but that things get a little flimsy there with other games. But yeah, I mean, the guys there's guys doing they've re-released Time Shock. They've kind of rebuilt their Pinball Pro platform. They're out there doing something. Not exactly sure what. It seems kind of quiet, but. You guys are it. You guys are the ones keeping the video pinball alive and in healthy form. So we'll come up with something.
Definitely started to pick up since we've started, I think. Mel.
Yeah.
When we go to these pinball shows, the attendance has been just dramatically improved since the 4 years that I've started. It's been crazy.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I want to do a lot more events. It's difficult for us just where we're situated with the majority of the company in Budapest.
Right.
So, we have a small team yet growing out here. But I know that the event scene has definitely picked up. There's a lot of enthusiasm. There's a ton of events. It's how do you guys pick what event you're going to support?
Well, some people invite us and then offer if we do a talk or something like that. Kind of gives us more incentive to come out.
Yeah.
And it's we mainly go to the really huge ones.
Did you go to California Extreme last weekend? Or 2 weekends
ago?
ago?
It was actually at the same time as Replay FX. And Replay FX is it's a lot bigger. So we end up going there.
All right. That's over in Pittsburgh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you run into a guy named Mega Beardo there?
I don't recall Mega Beardo.
Because I told him he lives out in Pittsburgh area, and he was hoping to be on this show, actually, since he's a good friend of Grant and I's. And I told him, if you run into the Farsight guys, say hi. So,
yeah, he may have stopped by, but I don't know. I don't remember anybody by the name of Mega Beardo.
He has a beard.
Yeah, there's quite a few beards.
Grant, you could probably describe him better. You could probably say his last name, too. I'm not even going to try.
He may have come by when Norman was at the booth.
He probably showed up.
Off.
Yeah, I was actually at California Extreme last weekend and played all three. I played Zen Studios stuff and Pinball Arcade stuff and Visual Pinball all on a virtual pin they had, like a V-pin setup.
Uh-huh. Right.
It was someone, like one of those, it was a booth, a vendor selling stuff, and they had like the giant virtual pinball, and you could select from either playing effects stuff or pinball arcade stuff or like the visual pinball, pin MAME, that kind of stuff. And people were playing it. I was kind of hanging out just to see what people's reactions were, but they had whatever cabinet they built had nudge sensors in it. That were working pretty well. It was really nice. But yeah, I mean, like, Replay Effects is way bigger, but Cal Extreme has grown a lot too. They actually had a whole separate room on top of what they've had in previous years with more machines.
Oh wow!
And
yeah, we would have gone.
It's nuts.
We would have gone. We normally do, but we were already booked for Pittsburgh. So I think next year they plan not to book themselves at the same time as Replay.
Yeah, that screwed a lot of things up, actually. The tournaments were weird. They had to get the guys that are in a league near me to help run the tournament because all the normal guys were out there at Replay Effects. I mean, Pinburg's the one, right? But yeah, I mean, like, these events are, the awareness is obviously higher now for pinball than it's ever been, and these events are really good for you guys if you can find a way to fit it in, because I don't think that there were any... Other than like a couple of really strange machines, there wasn't anyone there in terms of booths other than people selling stuff, and I think it'd be a great way to showcase your guys' software. Yeah,
we're normally there, but yeah, just like I said, I think we'll be there next time, and I think we might be there together with Stern. I think they're actually gonna be coming out next time. Not 100% sure, but
Stern usually has a presence there. The last few, I do go to that one because it's just down to San Jose, but I've always seen them with a presence there.
Yeah, at least with one of the vendors. I'm trying to think who they are, but I can't think of it right now.
I have to take a second to give a quick shout out to Mixer that I have such an awesome lineup right now, and apparently the chat on Mixer is fucked up. I've been disconnected from the chat servers for like 5 minutes now. I've tried refreshing and it won't log me into the account. So as far as I could tell, the stream is still going. So if people are watching, thanks for hanging out. If you're saying anything in chat, I can't see it.
Yeah, I can't see it either. It's all frozen up here.
Probably aren't saying anything because I'm sure your chat is broken too.
Yeah, it's broken, but the video's still going.
Damn it, Grant, why do you do this?
I'm here for you guys. I'll ask questions here.
Screw everything up, man.
Okay, Grant, go ahead. Ask questions. You want to ask questions? You do the questions.
So in Jaws, no, I don't know.
Who's your favorite actor in Jaws?
Is the shark an acceptable answer?
Yes,
absolutely.
The shark is the only answer. So yeah, tell us about this Universal Pinball that you're doing. What's going on with this? It just announced today?
Yeah, announced it today. We've got tables based on E.T., Jaws, and Back to the Future, and they will all come as a launch pack for Pinball FX 3, which we still haven't announced a date, but we're getting closer to being able to do that.
Man, if only there was some kind of landmark podcast that you're on that's never been done before that you could announce a release date on, huh?
Yeah, maybe next time.
You can't blame me for trying, right?
So, yeah, no, of course. But each of the tables is built around the films. You're going to play through like the memorable moments, and we've got tons of just fan love baked into it. It's very nostalgic. It's something. Some of these movies define my childhood, and I grew up with them. So just to be able to work with Amblin Entertainment, and Steven Spielberg and his team had to see our assets and review stuff and approve it. So it's really, I never got to talk to Steven Spielberg, which I'm a little upset about. But I would have definitely made the trip down there if I could have just said, "Hey, you want to play some pinball?" But just to know that his team was, involved with this and that they thought it was good enough to give a thumbs up to go is really special.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Did any of those properties have any real life pinball tables?
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, yeah.
Definitely got Back to the Future.
Nothing for Jaws or E.T.?
There was like a Mattel or I don't know, somebody did some sort of little plastic gimmicky E.T. table that sold at like Toys R Us or something, and this was years ago. I'll try to find a picture of it.
Here, I actually have I think I actually have one of those.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Oh, that's incredible.
When are we going to see those in Pinball Arcade?
Oh yeah, those little Tiger electronics.
Yes.
There's got to be ROMs available for those.
Yeah, ROMs.
This one's called Pirate's Treasure.
That is
I don't know,
incredible.
this is not Mattel though. This is Tommy. But I think this is a Toys R Us thing. But yeah, it's super old school. It's all mechanical.
I immediately feel bad for everyone who's listening to the MP3 list and stuff.
Weird digressing.
Actually, one time when we were streaming, I like pointed the cameras like a normal, like a normal pinball stream where you have the DMD and everything, and we streamed it for a while.
Is that something that you guys have considered putting into Pinball Arcade as like a joke mode or like a little bonus download of like just those chintzy little kid pinball tables?
No, not really. We're staying true to the real tables. I think the most toy-like table we put in there was Safecracker, but that's still a pretty legit table.
That might be a fun like April Fool's pack.
I know.
Just do like a 3-pack of those things and be like, oh man, you guys are going to be thrilled with our next month's update. We're going to have a pack of tables instead of just one. And then it releases and people are like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that'd be pretty hilarious. I don't know.
That notepad out. I'm shooting out the ideas again.
You know, Mike knows this too. Is this you have a challenge of like anytime you're going to do something like that, there's licensing and just challenges involved, and it's like how seriously do you want to go after something like that, and with the licensing, so there's a lot of things that go into consideration when you decide to do anything based on something else.
Right. I know that on the Back to the Future, the real table, they couldn't get Michael J. Fox's approval for his likeness on the back glass. If you look up the back glass for Back to the Future, it's like this other dude. It's the art from the DVD cover or whatever, but it's not him. With like the Back to the Future stuff, I guess maybe you can say it or not, but are you straying away from using actual likenesses, or are these reasonable facsimiles of the characters from the show or from the movies rather? And
I can totally talk about it. We are not using likeness from Christopher Lloyd or Michael J. Fox. And similar to kind of what Telltale had to do with their Back to the Future game as well, it's just there's times in business challenges and licensing challenges and all this stuff comes together, and at just points in time you can't make certain things work. So we have different characters. Of course, they look like them, but they are not their likeness, and their voices are also different voice actors.
Are you going for sound-alikes at least?
Oh yeah, absolutely. These are all guys that have been approved and done other instances of recordings for these guys, and all Amblin and NBC approved. So it's top tier talent, and believe me, they wouldn't get used unless they could pull it off.
Yeah, we had a similar problem when we were doing our Addams Family Kickstarter. We wanted to make one of our stretch goals the Back to the Future, the Data East Back to the Future table, but we weren't able to get Christopher Lloyd in there, so it didn't end up working out.
That's right. That was the one. Wasn't that the one Addams Family likeness you didn't get? Wait, or I can't remember. You said something about that before.
Yeah, we couldn't get Christopher Lloyd for the Addams Family either.
That's right. That's what it was.
Yep. So he's
the only one.
Place.
Was that the only one? Okay.
Oh no, actually no. I think it was also the boy. I'm trying to think who played him.
Oh yeah. The one opposite. What's her face?
Yeah.
The one opposite. What's her
George McFly's character.
What's that?
I don't know.
Just trying to look it up.
Oh, Pugsley?
Yeah,
Pugsley? Oh, there you go. Yeah.
When I was a kid, everyone said I looked like him. So that's been my celebrity doppelganger all my life, but now I
wasn't you?
Have a beard. No, believe it or not.
Oh, man.
I was unfortunately not a child actor. I tried so hard. Wasn't Christopher Lloyd, wasn't he in the Telltale Back to the Future game, though?
Was.
Christopher Lloyd may have been. I know, so Marty McFly, I'm looking this up right now. So it seems like Christopher Lloyd was there.
He was, but then Marty McFly was voiced by some kid who just submitted like an impersonation, and they hired him, I think.
And then I know Michael J. Fox showed up in like the final episode as a special guest appearance kind of deal.
Yeah.
But it's weird that Christopher Lloyd was all gung-ho for that, but not for the pinball tables. What's up with that, Christopher Lloyd? I know you're listening.
Well, it's not to say that people aren't... Yeah, it's not to say they're not into it. It's just there's like timing, and if you need special lines and they need to get into a studio and they can't get there by then, or they're booked up on some of their projects, or just any number of like uncontrollable variables show up, and that's the challenge of game development. And so, this time around, just the stars just did not align.
Yeah, same for us. I think I'm not exactly sure, but I think there's certain things with contracts where it's like, amounts are different compared to other people that they work with, and it has to be a certain percentage above or below or something,
MFN, most favored nation.
Yeah, most favored nation. Yeah.
Yep.
I have no idea what that means. Is that insider terminology?
I'm not even really familiar with it. I've heard it before, though, and that's exactly what it is.
Mike and I, or whoever handles licensing over at Farsight, we could probably write a book about licensing.
Yes.
And the challenges there. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've done so much, and so have you guys. It's like that's what drives our, that's what drives our games.
It came up last time. I think it was Joe. You'd said it was pretty much these guys and maybe Harmonix.
Yeah,
kind
it's
of leading
something
the charge.
I always hear when it comes to licensing is like licensing is hard, trademark symbol.
Look, you can licensing is actually, if you know what you're doing, is relatively easy. And if you want to make a pillowcase, it's really easy. But man, you want to make a video game where things move and talk and interact and explode and do different things? Yeah, good luck. Yeah. Dude, it is hard. It is not easy.
Yeah. What's the most challenging licensing that you guys have ever had to do?
Well, no matter what, for us, music is always the most difficult. And then second would be likeness rights and things like that. And those are the two most expensive elements, the two most difficult to negotiate and arrange. And probably the most difficult licensing deal that we've ever done. We're probably back in the early days when nobody knew who Zen Studios was. And here comes this little company from Budapest knocking on like the door of Marvel to say, hey, we want to make pinball with Spider-Man and he's going to fly around the screen, or, those kind of things. So nowadays it's not so difficult just because our work is proven and whatnot. But in the early days, you just gaining the trust of companies to work with you was probably the most difficult part.
Yeah, for us, Adam's Family was the most difficult. Getting Raul Julia was the real challenge there.
Now, did he have like a specific estate that you had to deal with, or were there family members that you worked with? Yeah,
it was an estate. And it took us a few years to finally get it, and then it was a great accomplishment when we finally were able to launch the Kickstarter for that one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, honestly, that Addams Family thing is probably one of the biggest licensing challenges in the history of licensing. I know just a few small bits and pieces about it, but whoever sorted that out on your guys' end was incredible.
Yeah, that would be Bobby King. He's our licensing guy.
Cheers, nice. Bobby. Cue the soundboard.
Cheers,
clank, clank.
Grant, you're going to have to buy him a beer.
Yep.
I'll buy everyone a beer. Come on out.
Come on, man. Rounds on me.
It's hot. It's hot out. Everyone needs one.
If anybody listening to the shows in California, hit up Grant Henry. What's your email address?
beer@smlpodcast.com.
I should probably look into that domain, shouldn't I?
What?
smlpodcast.com.
Yeah.
As it
just mentioned
it's taken right now, yeah.
How much you want to buy it from me for?
I got like $15.
Hey,
I just had to drop $80 for MagFest, so my money's tied up. Oh, that was an absolute train wreck with MagFest today. Are either of you guys planning on going to MagFest?
No, I'm not.
Gotta get you guys there. Grant, are you going this year?
Oh, yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, cool. Did you get your badge already?
I may or may not, or may, be performing in some capacity at MagFest.
Ooh.
So I have a badge. Mel, maybe you'll be in town when Mag West happens. I don't know. Mag West is the first of its kind in Santa Clara. It's the West Coast version of this thing we're talking about.
August 25 to 27. I'm in Budapest that week.
There you go.
It's pretty cool, though. Go back and forth from here to Budapest.
It's cool. This will be my 5th trip this year. And usually I don't make. Well, I try to stop by like to do other things, and then I'm there. But we have so much going on right now. It's just been a lot of studio time this year.
Oh, in chat, someone asking what is MagFest. By the way, chat is working again. All you gotta do is refresh the page. Thanks to Will Martin telling me that on Twitter. So, yay! I can watch people say that they like my amiibo collection again.
And I lost my window. Well,
it's okay. It's not important. No one important.
I don't need to see us.
So do either of you guys ever get out and play pinball in the wild? I know, Mike, you've got this stupid collection that the company's got for all the machines you've translated into your game. But like, do you guys get out and play much?
Yeah, actually, we just put 13 pinball tables in a sports bar down the street from us.
That's a good idea.
And I'm going to be starting, along with my coworkers, we're going to be starting a league up here. So we just applied for IFPA sanctions, and then we should be up and running within a month.
Good deal. Virtual pinball goes real. Just go right, pay it back, right? That's good.
Yeah, well, we really do want to help the popularity of pinball, so we're trying to turn Big Bear into more of a pinball town now. We put 4 more tables in our convention center, and then I think we're going to try and figure out if we can put anything anywhere else, because we have almost 100 pinball tables in our studio, and we're really running out of space. So it's better that they go out there and get used and don't just get put up on their ends and in the garage,
You're
That's
just
important.
at the point where you're like going to bars and convention centers. You're like, here, you put this shit somewhere. We're out of room.
Yeah, here, have our tables.
We can't afford another warehouse for all of these. How many are you guys up to now?
I'm having trouble figuring out the exact number, but I think we're in the early 90s.
Good God. Grant, are you jealous?
I mean, sure. If you accidentally trip on one next time you go in the office, just be like, can someone take this to Grant's garage? I'd be fine with that.
Grant, just like open up your garage as a new pinball convention center.
Oh, okay.
Partner up with Farsight and just have them bring like, I don't know, half a dozen pinball tables there. Put them on free play, charge $5 a head, come in, play all they want.
Yeah. Some places are actually just putting pinball tables in all on free play and just using that to bring people in. And then they buy beer and food and stuff, They don't actually have to charge for the tables.
Or like free nights, free Wednesdays, free night, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think here we're going to do free Friday. Free play Friday or something like that.
That's a good night to do it.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot in chat saying someone should do 24 hours of pinball for extra life. Which of you guys are up for the task?
I'm down.
We could do shifts. At least I don't know if I would last 24 hours. My kids they might get mad at me.
Well, I know don't a
fair.
lot of sites and groups like that someone will do like a 4-hour shift and then they'll just swap off to someone else who continues on, and just as long as that channel is doing like a 24-hour stream.
Yeah, that's what they do at GDQ with Pinball Joe and Buffalo Pinball, all those guys. They all just come volunteer for the charity, and then, they have like 3-hour shifts or something like that. I think I'll be there this time.
That sounds like a good way to find a way to work together for the first time.
Yeah, like maybe we should convene at one of these things and just do like one of those marathons. That'd be pretty cool.
It'd be fun to see Mel go through all the pinball arcade tables, and you got Mike Lindsey over here going through all the pinball effects stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome.
We need to hook it up to each other, so we have all the games.
Oh, that would be amazing.
See, we're solving problems.
Yeah, right now, man. Building bridges.
Building bridges and solving problems.
That's right.
Raising money for kids.
Yep.
There we go.
See, now
Mel, do you...
Go ahead, Grant.
Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to stomp on your...
It's okay. It's okay.
Your voice.
I still love you.
Your pretty voice. Mel, do you get it? I'm just curious. Do you? I mean, I know that you come from a marketing background. That you worked on Guitar Hero stuff before, and you've done a lot in your past. And I don't know if working with the Zen people was sort of your biggest introduction to pinball. Maybe you're not the biggest pinhead. Don't know. But do you get a chance to play real tables, kind of just out and around? You run into them? Do they have any out there, or do you hit places in the bay?
Yeah, I probably don't play as much as Mike, but when I'm in our studio in Budapest, I'm definitely playing. We have probably 20, 25 machines that we're rotating regularly through the office, and I'm told a Walking Dead machine just showed up, so when I'm there in a couple weeks, I haven't played that since, I don't know, IAPA last year or something, so I'll definitely give that a go. I know Fishtails I have a Fishtails machine myself, but unfortunately it's not working at the moment, and I don't have anybody up here in my huge metropolis town of 1,500 people that is available to fix it at the moment. But I frequent the Pacific Pinball Museum whenever I'm in the Bay Area. I know the guys over there, and we're going to try to help figure out what to do with the situation there to get them a better location, a more permanent home. And, if I'm ever in an airport, like Minneapolis has got pinball tables in their airport, throw quarters down in there, play. They have Lord of the Rings there. They may have swapped that out recently. But if I see a table, of course I'm going to jump on. And I grew up, I have this rickety old little pinball machine. It was like plastic with all plastic parts, but very mechanical. That was given to me by my grandparents when I was young. And that was my first intro to pinball. But I would have never thought that I'd be working on the game in a capacity that I am now. And yeah, my early days with Zen is definitely where it became more of a thing I needed to be aware of and play. So I didn't grow up necessarily in arcades and have, all the stories and all those days of throwing quarters down and, all those things. But I've caught up over the last 12 years.
Yeah, I can relate to you on the not really growing up with pinball and arcades. I went into a bunch, but it never really felt like spending money any of the places, especially on pinball, because I was just, it's hard to have a good ball on your first couple of plays, and then, if you have a bad experience and you feel like, I'm just going to play video games instead or something. But yeah, just since I've started here, man, I've really become super into pinball. It's like just realizing how deep the rules can go in all these tables and just realizing the skill that actually goes into it. There's some luck there, but, it's kind of like bowling with the luck. You still improve your skills. It's an amazing game.
It totally grows on you, and this is one of the things that we've found with with our game as it's evolved, is that a lot of times people, they look at it and they dismiss it because they think it's so simple or it looks boring, it looks old, whatever. But you give people a controller or put them on a machine for their first time, and they get the feel for it, something changes, and then all of a sudden they get it, and most people end up becoming fans. And we see it. Someone comes in, plays our free table, and before you know it, they've just bought everything.
Yeah, same for us. It's like once they realize the challenge, or they start to get something back, like a multi-ball. They achieve a multi-ball, and then they realize that when they're in the multi-ball, they get these jackpots, and then they want to find out what else they can do if there's a different type of multi-ball or something like that. It really hooks them in.
Now, the first time you hit a multi-ball in your life and you just the table just starts shooting these other balls, you're like, what the hell's going on? Oh my God, there's so much stuff going on right now. It's like sensory overload, and it hooks you.
Yeah, it really is exciting.
We made my aunt go out in Boston when we visited to a bowling alley where they had some pins, me and my little brother, and they had a Mustang there, which is a newer table, a very fast table. And she'd never played before. My aunt, she'd never played pinball, and the multi-ball is pretty easy to get in Mustang. And she was watching us play, and she said, "I want multi-ball. Like, that is my goal for the night, is to have multi-ball." And she got it on Mustang. She doesn't know how she did it, but the balls just started flying at her, and they're all draining one after the other. But the ball saves on, so they just kept coming, and she's just screaming, like she's just screaming at the top of her lungs, flailing, trying to keep this stuff alive. And she, since then, apparently she's played a bit more. There's some in her neighborhood, Jamaica Plains, and she kind of got the bug after that. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it gives you adrenaline when you get the multi-ball, man.
I really hope someone just came into the chat in the middle of that, where they just come in and they hear, yeah, balls were flying at her from all over. She's draining them like crazy. Draining them balls.
No shortage of ball jokes when you're talking about pinball. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's true.
And then the Farsight guys have bowling as well, so they've got extra big balls too.
Oh yeah, huge.
Bowling? What's that? You guys have a bowling alley in your office?
No, we did the game for Brunswick. We did Brunswick Pro Bowling.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and what was cool about that is they, for research or field research, they signed us up for the bowling league, and we got all our gear from Brunswick, and it was like we were all fresh in our bowling kicks and everything. We were in for like 4 or 5 seasons, and I wore out all of my stuff, like all my.
Did you have a ball rag?
No, I didn't. I wanted to do the Jesus thing at some point.
Yeah, totally. That's what I was thinking about as you said that.
The sling.
A pink one.
Yeah. No, you know what though? It's funny. The name of our team. We had a few names, but one was we were the Nihilists, and then we were the Urban Achievers, the Little Lebowski Urban Achiever.
That's awesome.
Oh my lord. We actually have a fairly decent question in the chat for you, Mel. I'm an idiot says, my only hope for FX3 is that they have a variety of achievements. FX2 on the one had not that many, and they were always the hardest ones. Are you guys decided on what you're doing with achievements in the game yet?
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of achievements. There's new achievements, and there will be more of them. We ran into a lot of problems early on in FX2, especially on 360 and PS3, simply because we ran out of gamer score that was allocated because
Same for us. We had the same
so
problem.
I think we ended up having one achievement or trophy for like a table, and some started coming out with none, and that's a bummer.
Yeah.
But it seems like things have changed. We figured out a better approach to not front load them so much, but also just to be able to keep releasing new achievements and trophies.
Yeah, we definitely got stuck with that problem as well.
See, now I noticed with Pinball Arcade, your achievements on the Xbox One, like your achievements cover the entire season, despite the fact that you still only get the one table free, where on Pinball FX, your achievements were pretty much just focused on the free table. Why, what was the difference between the two? I'm curious, why Zen, why you guys couldn't, have achievements cover a whole spectrum of tables right out of the gate like Pinball Arcade did.
I think it might just come down to the way you release. So when on the back end, when you have a store set up, you release like a whole package, and so if they're releasing in seasons, you can, it's more like, I guess, event-based trophies and whatnot tied to a general content pool, whereas we might release one table or 3 tables, and so that specific content gets the achievement or trophy. I don't know, Mike, maybe you could talk a little bit more about the way you guys do trophies, but...
Well, I think we just released them. We had it set up so that we were doing 5 per table or something like that, and we were doing that consistently until we ran out. And then when we got to PS4, we released them all the same, and I think we were expecting to be granted more because of a new platform, and it just didn't happen. So I think we were stuck with the same problem as PS3.
So, was the achievement or trophy, was it based on, say, you bought the season and you need to achieve some sort of goal across this season in order to get the achievement?
Yeah, I think we did do that.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we ended up doing that, and then with seasons after, I think we did I think we were able to do multiple seasons. I'm not sure if it was just season 1, but then when we got into the later seasons, it just wasn't happening. It's actually a little difficult to get some of those things in with the consoles. It's a kind of a rigid process in their back end.
Yep. There's a lot of rules, TRCs and whatever, and they're not broken very easily.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other...
It doesn't make sense to me that Pinball Arcade was allowed to do it for the full season instead of just what was in the initial download, but Zen, you guys were forced to just have it with what was in the initial download. And then I even notice, when new tables come out for Zen, I see them in the Xbox store. When new tables come out for Pinball Arcade, I can only find them in the game, and I don't see them just on the store. What's up with that?
So, because we have so much content, it was just a decision between us and Microsoft that we don't flood all of our content into the store. They wanted to keep it, you just download the game and then everything's available within the in-game store. So that's just how we did it.
That's weird that you guys could do that, but every week I see new Rocksmith and new Rock Band and the 5,000 Dead or Alive outfits that show up every week.
Yeah, I think it's just it's just a decision that they worked out together and decided that it was the way to go.
It's crazy.
There's no straight answer in this industry, guys.
Yeah.
it's always like, let me tell you. Yep.
What works for one doesn't work for the other, and I'm trying to find out why. I'm looking for the hard-hitting answers, and no one knows.
I think it's also there's different reps that you deal with, and then they will deal with their challenges how they will. So it might be that, could be just the way our game's in the back end built with our code, could be just that we have so much content. I'm not exactly sure why.
What's another example of a game, Joe, on a console that is its base is the base game is really just a platform?
Probably Rock Band.
I guess that's it. I guess that'd be
Rock Band, Rocksmith, music games in general. I would say the new Guitar Hero, but that doesn't have any kind of DLC. That's just like an online streaming service. So whenever they shut that down, like all the songs that were on there are gone.
Right. So, well, there's some local stuff, but most
much.
of it's
and not that good either.
Stuff's, it's terrible. It's so bad.
I hate Guitar Hero Live so much.
Nobody wants. Mel's over here seething. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he's laughing. Nobody wants to play a Katy Perry song on guitar. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just telling Katy Perry fans this. You don't want to do that. Like, there's no guitar in it. I never.
Hey man, it was all about More Than a Feeling. That was the song that sold it. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Replay FX. They had a good little section of Guitar Hero, and every chance I got, I was over there. I'm still on Expert, so I feel good. If any of you guys ever want to do a Guitar Hero get together, let's do it.
If you have Rock Band 4 on Xbox One, I will play with you any day of the week.
Oh man, I love games. I don't have Xbox though.
Like when I stream, like I'll occasionally, very rarely, I'll stream Rock Band when I'm playing, and someone will drop by and they'll be like, "Hey, what songs do you have?" I'm like, all of them.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm missing 5 songs that have been delisted and aren't for sale. I just said in chat, I have 2,375 songs in my Rock Band library right now. And
I'm about to do that.
Yeah, that doesn't include a bunch of stuff that still hasn't made the jump over, that has been delisted, or any of the Rock Band Network stuff from last generation, that God knows if that'll ever show up. But yeah, I have a problem.
It's an addictive game. It's very good.
Yeah, I was quite involved with Guitar Hero, and I think when I look back on it now, it was I kind of realized that was the game that changed video game culture probably forever, because games were still kind of a nerdy, geeky only thing, and are you cool if you play games or not? But then Guitar Hero came out, and it just like the next day there you have like fraternities and football players like showing themselves playing a video game. It really changed everything, and then of course everyone wants to be a rock star. You give people that feeling. It bridged a lot of gaps, for games. It was really cool.
It still feels like Guitar Hero 2 was still the pinnacle, too. When Guitar Hero and Harmonix were together, that was like the pinnacle. And then Harmonix went off and did Rock Band, and Guitar Hero got the Neversoft guys on, and they were both great. It missed that magic that was there.
Well, Red Octane was the publisher. Kai and Charles were the brothers who, kind of funded everything and drove it through. But yeah, Red Octane and Harmonix together was just pure magic, and it was no one ever realized or thought that the game could get as big as it did. And then both companies sold separately, literally within a week of each other.
Yeah.
And that was the split. That was the moment when it kind of started the end.
No. Still good games that come out. I think Rock Band 4 is still an awesome platform. The last generation Guitar Hero games up until the end, I loved them all. Van Halen was kind of but aside from that, there's still a lot of fun and really enjoyable stuff, and similar to your guys' games, it's just a platform for more content in an ever-evolving game, and that's what I like about your games as well. Like I own all the Zen tables, I own all the pinball arcade tables. Again, I have a problem. I have addictions that I need to work through. This isn't a podcast, it's a support group right now.
Yeah.
Well, I know,
actually,
go
ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, for us, things have changed over the course of time, but I think, you look at a game now, you ship a game, it's not like the game is done. We're shipping Pinball FX3 with awesome set of features, but there's like 100 more that we want to do. And so you start to look at the roadmap and say, hey, how do we run this thing more like a service, and help beat all these addictions and help give someone a new reason to play. So, I think we're here to help you.
Yeah. Yeah, the mobile market's really influenced that as well.
Very true. I'm an Idiot has another question. He's asking when the stern tables might go on sale.
I'm not sure. Hopefully this Christmas. I feel like Christmas is a time for sales. We usually do something around then.
Like, does Stern or do the pinball arcade tables in general have sales often? I think one of the downsides with them not being, viewable in the Xbox store is that you never really know if there's a sale on them or not. Where, the Zen tables, every week that there's a new table on sale, you'll see it in the, the sale directories and this much off and get a table for like $1.50, something like that.
Yeah. On some platforms we're a little bit limited because of things like that. But on other platforms we're on sale more often, like Steam. Steam we have sales. PlayStation we have sales, but not as often as Steam. And I think mobile we have just about as much as Steam.
Yeah, one thing you got to understand on the console side, the sales are handled very differently. The power is not in our hands for the most part, but mobile and PC is much more. We can just line it up. You got your own back end, put them on sale.
Yeah, it's also like different regions too. Like so, American PS4 or PSN, we can set our own sales for PS Plus and stuff like that. But for Europe PSN, it's not possible. You actually have to be invited. So, I try to bug them all the time and see if we can be in some sales or something like that, but it's all completely up to them. And then it's the same, for other platforms, just varies.
Didn't Sony unify like all their global divisions into one? I thought they were doing something to make it easier with worldwide publishing and shit like that.
I haven't really noticed that on my end.
Yeah, Sony Europe, Sony North America, and Japan are still walled gardens as far as publishing goes. Maybe in theory or in practice, like they have one message now that they're unified, but not on the back end.
Yeah, it's completely separate, and there's still costs for Europe that aren't in America, bandwidth things and stuff like that.
You still pay patch fees in Europe. It's kind of crazy.
It's really weird. It's like they're not following suit with PSN US, so it's just weird.
Now, is that just a Sony thing, or is Xbox like that in Europe as well?
Xbox is worldwide.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah, I've heard Sony in Europe is like the worst division. Like there's hundreds possibly of Rock Band songs that aren't in Europe on PlayStation, but they're everywhere else. Just because Sony of Europe is just dragging their feet or who knows what. Clearly Harmonix can't say what the issue is. They're just like, we're working with our partners to figure this out. Because you have to say stuff like that.
Yeah. It's just, you're dealing with different people over there and different rules.
Also, Nintendo is, they're region specific as well.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, and I think we're actually, we're approved in America, but not in Europe for Nintendo.
Well, since Nintendo came up, I know I asked Mel last time he was on, and he had to be very non-committal with his answer regarding Pinball FX3 hitting the Switch. Is Pinball Arcade looking at a Switch release? We
have someone working on a build for it right now.
Nice.
I think that's about all I can say. I don't know if we're approved to go out or what.
Tweet!
Confirmed live on this show.
Yeah, man. Excellent show.
I try. I do what I can. So as PR guys, like we were just talking about like Sony Europe who could drag their feet. Do you guys ever really just want to throw someone under the bus for all like any kind of delays or bullshit going on that's just like, yeah, it's their fault. Fuck them.
I did that one time, and I didn't get a really nice return, so I've stopped doing that.
Can you give details on who you did that to?
Yeah, well, when the big PSN outage happened, remember when it was down for like a month or so? I don't know how long.
Oh God,
it was
with
down.
the hack
It's like
on
after they got
PS3.
hacked, right?
Yeah, we launched a table that week, and it was the holidays, so we were all like, here we go, holiday period's big time for us, and it was just down. And Game Informer like called me up and said, "Do you have anything to say about this?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I do," and I just like went off. And
These sons of bitches.
A Scaramucci moment.
yeah.
Oh God.
And then since that time, look, I had good feedback from like community and like other developers. Like, well, dude, that was really bold. That was awesome. But listen, like Sony, and Microsoft, Nintendo, these guys, they're just a little bit bigger than Zen. They're just a little bit bigger than me, and so it's good just to maintain composure and just listen. Everyone's working hard. These guys work hard for us. Their teams are overtaxed. They're dealing now with hundreds and hundreds of developers. There's way more games in the pipe than there used to be. So stuff's gonna happen. But I give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm never gonna say anything negative about them.
Yeah, no, they're awesome, and there's a few people there that I really appreciate that we work with over at both Europe and America for Sony, and it's a lot of fun for the most part.
Can you guys say that now compared to like early or mid PS3, Xbox 360 era, is it in general a little easier to create parity and to kind of handle the multi-console environment compared to then? Like, I mean, there's probably a number of reasons why. There's relationships and there's things around horsepower of the machines. But in general, would you say it's the best time for handling that kind of thing, or is it tougher?
I feel like it's getting there. It's moving forward. Things are improving.
That's good.
Yeah, it's improving. It depends on what your tech situation is. I would say on the development side, it's easier to have feature parity and whatnot. On the publishing side, Zen's been self-publishing since 2007, and for some reason, sometimes it feels like we're doing this for the first time again. Like we just released Infinite Minigolf a few weeks ago. We were all lined up for a sim ship across tons of channels, and for whatever reason, our Switch release was delayed by 2 days, and it was just totally nobody knew that was happening. It was totally unsuspecting, and that's a bad look, especially for us being so experienced. But
what happened there anyway? Because I remember you guys tweeting out like, "Yeah, we're trying to figure out what's going on with Nintendo. We're in communication with them." Like, what was the issue there? Was it just like a paperwork issue, or was there a certification thing?
Like we were just talking about the region-specific separations, and they have a 3-part lot check approval on Europe, North America, and Japan. And one of the 3 regions had a bug that they had flagged, and somehow it didn't get reported, and so we didn't have an opportunity to fix it, and we didn't know that it was there. So it was just in the back end, somehow something didn't get relayed properly, and that was the situation.
Shit happens, I guess, right? But it's out now.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the game's doing well across all platforms.
Oh yeah, it's doing awesome. We're really happy, and everything's fantastic. I think we're crossing 8,000 user-generated courses already, so we're well on our way to the 80,000 that Planet Minigolf had over its entire life.
Wow.
Multiple years, and here we are, a week and a half in. If we're going to double, we're projecting to double every week and a half at this point. So
good Lord,
that's incredible.
We're ramping up new servers, and we're doing all sorts of stuff too, so that's flawless. But back to the point, publishing, especially multi-channels and doing tons of stores like day one, it's still a big challenge no matter how many times you've done it.
Have you had to change your workflow for handling phallic-shaped mini golf courses?
How many of those 8,000 courses are dicks? That's what he's asking.
Yeah, have you had to add like 20 people to the vetting teams? Because we had this discussion, about the kinds of amazing things, dirty soup, and all the amazing.
We've been pleasantly surprised. The game was heavily positioned to families and casual players, so I don't think maybe when we do our first sale, we'll get a whole influx of like people who just want to come in and make funny stuff or dick courses, whatever. But for the most part, it's been we've been pleasantly surprised.
I'm more concerned, like, how many of those 8,000 courses are just straight courses with a start and a hole, and that's it?
There are a fair amount of them, but we wrote in a line of code to weed out most of those. I believe there's still some in there, but the vast majority of them kind of get placed into this different category, and they actually just don't show up. But you still get the achievement. If you do that and you create the simple put it 2 inches and you hit it in, then it's not likely to be seen by anybody else, unfortunately.
Thank you. I love you very much for putting that code in there. I think after we did the review on the one show, I decided to just stream the game later that night. It was like 2-3 in the morning or something. I was streaming it, and I think there were 4 holes in a row that were just straight courses, and like 2 of them were from Carnage, and I'm just like, this motherfucker.
No, I would point you to and that is frustrating, right? But I would point you to ZenPix or to Highest Rated on the course browser, and you're never gonna see any of those super simple or annoying courses.
Yeah, I just jump into the quick play, and whatever comes up comes up. I've run into some amazing courses on there. Like, there are some incredibly creative people out there who make some amazing stuff. I think I did an okay job with the 2 courses I made. I think I was one of the first among our little group of friends between Twitch and YouTube and everything else that got the 100 rating achievement. So I got to smile about that.
Nice.
Someone saw it pop and they're like, "You got that already?" Well, yeah, that's what happens when you don't make a boring ass straight course.
Yeah, so all the Chivo hunters out there, if you want to if you're a completionist, then you're gonna have to make something decent.
Mike, have you checked out Infinite Minigolf yet?
I have not.
We can get you a code, man. We can
check it out.
Give
him
the
Xbox code.
Courses.
Give him the Xbox code. Let's make him switch
for the
platforms.
Xbox, he's got.
Because then if he gets an Xbox, he could get Rock Band, and he and I could play.
Yeah, one of these days.
Mel, do you play Rock Band at all, or are you like super loyal to Guitar Hero?
I played tons of Rock Band. I haven't done it in a while, but I've got a room full of instruments. I also helped manage all the licensing for peripherals that was coming in, and we were approving all the third-party stuff. So I've got literally instruments from everybody up until like 2008 or 9 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So,
but yeah, I haven't been. My game time has been reduced. Once I had kids, everything changed.
yeah, same for me. I squeeze it in just a little here and there.
I've been playing a ton of Rocket League though. I just can't get off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just picked up Doom, so I'm playing that. Just the campaign right now. It's pretty cool.
It is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I really need to play Doom. I saw that.
Oh, you haven't played Joe? Come on, man.
I bought the collector's edition like the day it came out. I have the statue. No, it's not behind me anymore. It's over on the shelf. I've had it just out since the day it came out, and I haven't had time. I watched the playthrough of SGDQ, and I'm like, oh my god, I really need to play this game already.
Yeah, put on your best headphones and turn it up.
Yeah, soundtrack is incredible.
It's like heavy metal, like death metal stuff in the background. Super awesome.
Yeah, I got to pick Mick Gordon's brain a little bit at GDC. He was there. He's the composer. He also did the Wolfenstein New Blood soundtrack and Killer Instinct and stuff. And the soundtrack is just incredible for that game.
When are you going to work with them?
Tomorrow?
Yeah. As soon as possible.
I've got Doom downloaded on my PS4, so I'll have to check it out.
I feel so outnumbered that you guys are all Sony guys, and I'm an Xbox fan here.
I got an Xbox.
Yeah, I don't have an Xbox. I just have a PS4.
I got it all. Switch.
I've got it all at the office, but I'm a PS4 guy at my house.
Makes sense.
I will tell you guys. I tweeted a mock-up I made of the. I'll find it here and post it to you guys. A mock-up I made of Metroid Prime Pinball. You guys remember that from the DS? Came with the rumble cart and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And I tweeted a mock-up of what that would look like ported to the Switch with vertical support.
Man, vertical support. That's why both your pinball games need to be on the Switch. That
here it
sweet
is. I'm putting
vertical
it right here.
support.
right here in the chat. You can take a look at that. Now that is in fact what it could potentially look like, given that the Switch does offer the ability to switch the orientation of your screen. Tell you what, Pinball Arcade's Zen look pretty hot.
Yeah.
Like that.
I'm actually trying to figure out how to get to that chat so I can actually see it, but I know what you're saying.
I have it going in the stream now because Grant had to link it in the Skype chat instead of the actual, chat.
Yeah, I opened the Mixler. Let me go up there. I opened the Mixler thing, and I instead of hitting the mute button, the lag terrified me, and I just closed it. So let me go and.
I got you. I posted it already.
All right.
That looks great. Yeah. There's no pinball on Switch needs to be happening. There's no question.
Gee, if only there were some pinball guys that we could convince to do that. Anybody want to go on record and confirm it?
I'll go on record and say that Zen Studios was a huge supporter of Nintendo Wii U. We probably had the most SKUs out of any developer publisher. In fact, I think it's actually confirmed, and we will support Switch at some point in time.
Nice. I love the PR speak of that. I love it.
Yeah. Smooth.
Then Mike's just like, ditto.
Yeah.
we love Nintendo. I got a question for Mike. What's the haps with what's Bustin' Ghosts been like over there? You got people working on that, and you got people kind of rigging up other weird toys and models potentially for other Stern happenings on the Stern side.
Yeah, well, we've announced that that we're going to be doing Whoa Nelly, Big Buck Hunter, and then we're still, trying to get our Ghostbusters out, which has been taking a while. So we apologize to everybody for that. Hopefully we can do that in the next couple weeks. But I don't really know. I've been trying to promise dates, for a long time, and every time I do that, it's just like, oh.
Yeah, it's not the best idea.
Yeah, not a good thing. So I don't know when it's going to be coming out, but it seems like we're working out the issues with Ghostbusters. So
just going to default to the when it's ready answer from now on.
Yeah, when it's ready. I mean, that's kind of how it goes with us too, especially like we're on so many platforms, and it's just really hard to pin down dates and let people know when that's going to be.
And I'll launch with the Switch version.
Yeah, hopefully that would actually be good, and I think that we're aiming to do that.
Man, Big Buck Hunter is an awesome game.
Yeah,
a guy in the league here bought one, and I walked in, and I was like, it's like when you walk into an arcade and you're hoping to see Joust, but instead you see like a golf game, a game with a trackball, or like a hunting game. That's just not really my thing. But man, I played that thing. That thing is fun. That thing is super fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
That's a good one.
It weirdly sounds a lot like High Roller Casino. There's a lot of sounds in there that are so familiar. Do you know that table?
I do. A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how much the sounds are alike. I think they were made around the same time. I don't know that for sure, but they seem like it just because the sounds are very alike.
That would make sense.
So there's a Big Buck Hunter pinball table.
Yeah.
Yep.
I never knew that. That is crazy.
It's actually a massive brand. It's sold, I don't know how many millions of copies of the base game, and definitely big enough to have its own pinball.
Yeah, I love it, dude. It's so fun.
Yeah, I always see the machines in like Walmart in their little fake arcades that they have going on, but I didn't know they did a Stern table of that. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Replay FX last time they had a booth there with some operator who had a bunch of the newer. It was like the HD version of Buck Hunter, and I hadn't really played it too much before, like a little bit, but just the way they have the girls just walking around and they're just super HD, and they just try to like pump that in your face, and you're killing like big game wild cats and bears and stuff. It's crazy.
Some goddamn buck, and then she's gonna come out in her bikini.
Yeah, he's got guns and girls and wild animals.
Guns and bazookas.
Yeah. Super fun.
So
there's a boat where you shoot fish in the river, like they're swimming upstream and
really?
They're in a ball, yeah. And then a bear will come out and like try to get a fish, and if you shoot the bear, it's like a bonus.
Oh man, that's nuts. So when are we ever going to see Big Buck join Pinball FX as well? We could get the same brand on both platforms.
That'd be cool.
Well, we need to write a book about how licensing works, and then you'll have. It's not. We're not talking to anybody over there right now, but to have a Big Buck just walking across, and you got to hit him with the ball, and maybe the flippers are rifles. Sure, why not?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, see, that would be a good mechanic. Like, you flip through your different rifles and stuff, and different types of calls or something that you could do. I think there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah. There is. I mean, you kind of got started with that kind of meta level game with the Bethesda pack you guys put out.
Yeah, so cool.
Kind of like messing with characters in Fallout and everything. Like that's kind of an interesting way to handle.
I think you guys bring that up. How do you guys like that? Because we had a really mixed response. Some people think it just disrupts the flow of the game. Other people totally dig it and they love the whole thing. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
With the progression carrying over between games?
But just the way that it's implemented, the game kind of pauses, a box comes up, and you got to figure out some RPG elements and stuff.
I liked it. It was a fresh twist on the formula. Instead of just hitting balls, it gets you more involved instead of just hitting flippers. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. I also liked the fact that was it the Skyrim one that your character and your progress would carry over from title to title, or was that Fallout?
Skyrim.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that as well, where it felt like if I played a game and I didn't do it that well, I at least made some progress as an overall character, and I could continue the next game with it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I liked that about Skyrim. Some of the Fallout stuff was I would just sort of, after a while, I just sort of flipped through the character creation because I just wanted to play.
Yeah.
And I found that some of I know you're obviously sticking with traditional pinball controls with the way you navigate menus and things, because you kind of have to, especially if people are playing on virtual pins, or maybe they're not playing with a controller. But I found it every time I went into a menu, I wanted to be able to use my thumbstick and actually select stuff. Like I wanted it to kind of turn into more of a video game menu for a short period of time. And I also find that when you go to things, when you don't always hit what you're going for when you're playing pinball. Sometimes you hit something you didn't mean to, but it's still a good thing. It's kind of like when you're playing non-tournament level pool and you accidentally hit your own color in. It's like, well, that's cool. Wasn't what I was shooting for, but I'll take it. Right. But then you're stuck in a menu, right? Like you didn't really want to go there yet. And so that kind of thing can happen too. But I think that the constant leveling up and that kind of meta game is really, really cool for pinball. You guys did something like that for Epic Quest as well, I think.
We did. That was kind of the first instance, and then we definitely took it a step further with Fallout and Skyrim. And we could go even further. We've just been kind of testing the waters. How much do we embrace being a video game and also, being this game of pinball, which you have to have things that must remain true and absolute about it. And we just don't want to disrupt the flow of the game too much, so we're trying to figure out what that balance looks like.
Fuck it, at this point, just go all out and do a standalone pinball RPG game for $20.
Believe me, we've got that idea in our head, and we've got some great ideas about it. It'd almost be like, imagine Brutal Legend meets pinball.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, it would be cool. Nobody on the internet go do that idea, okay?
Don't listen.
It's our idea.
Mike just registered the URL, right?
Yeah.
On the flip side, I mean, this is maybe not something that maybe this is of interest, but I remember playing a ton of the Space Cadet pinball for Windows way back in the day, and it was so simple. And there's something about the early 80s solid state games that are just very easy to understand in terms of rules, building up a jackpot, multipliers. You don't get nearly as much into missions and things like that. That was kind of later. Has there ever been talk about building a more slimmed down, points driven kind of experience, like something that maybe might even be a way to entice newcomers because it's a little easier to digest? So the opposite of what we're talking about with Epic Quest.
Yeah, we've thought about it. I mean, Mike probably has these too. There's hundreds of ideas of derivative style pinball experiences that we could create, but one, it's setting aside the time, the dedication to really, do that, and you start to get distracted, and pretty soon you're running down a rabbit hole, and you're not doing what everybody else really wants you to be doing because you want to do an experiment. But yeah, I mean, there's tons of different games, and we're starting to see them pop up. Like Pen Out was awesome. Execution was out last year on mobile. Those kind of things. I swear, like we were like, oh man, that was an idea we had a couple years ago. Like we should have done it. But so we're kind of in this predicament, right? Like we got to keep feeding the beast that we've built, but we want to do other things. When do you do it? How do you do it?
Yeah, you got to balance it.
Yeah, definitely. We're in a position where we've been coming out with tables that are already designed for so long that if we want to try and design something, we don't have the manpower to do something like that,
How did the Doctor Who thing go? Because you guys did rebuilt the old Doctor Who machine with new assets and rules and stuff. How was that whole experience?
It was definitely a challenge. We based it on the emulation of the actual Doctor Who table, which saved us some time. But yeah, it was very cool getting all the new sounds and everything like that, and putting the new doctors and everything in there. But it was definitely extra work. Like it took us a while to get everything through our normal pipeline.
Makes sense.
I'm kind of curious. I know Zen has done a bunch of Zen Originals tables, your own properties. Would that be something interesting, or would you be interested in possibly trying to license those properties over to Pinball Arcade to see if they could make a more a table more grounded in reality instead of you guys have the more fantastical style of physics in table layouts, where Pinball Arcade is clearly based off of authentic tables. Would that be an interesting crossover?
It could be. It would definitely be an interesting crossover. Whether or not it's possible technically is probably the bigger question, because I know we're building in a custom engine, and I know Farsight's more like ROM based, if I'm not mistaken. So workflows and pipelines and assets and the way they're in logic and the whole thing. I don't know. It'd probably be a pretty tall order on the technical side.
Yeah, we're also running a proprietary engine.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting to see how some of those tables played with a drastically different style of physics behind the table.
Yeah. Well, I think people really enjoy the Zen pinball physics. It's like, we have our realistic as possible physics, and Zen has their physics, and I think it's a good back and forth for, both of our shared fans. They get to go and have more of a video game experience where it feels super, like you said, fantastical, and yeah, it's just a good break from it. It's nice.
Good stuff. Well, I know we've been chatting for quite a while. I know Mel said that you don't have too much time left, so I figure to kind of bring things to a close, what are your favorite tables from the competing platform?
Well, I'll go. I love Twilight Zone, Addams Family, Fishtails, obviously. I think my best score, though, might be on Pinbot. And last time I checked, I don't know. Circus Voltaire. I could go on and on. Like they're all there. Like these are the best games ever made. So just to have them at any time you want them on a console or on your phone is like stinking awesome.
Right. I need you to hook me up, man. I've got Plants vs. Zombies. Thought that was super great. But yeah, I need more time on the Zen Pinball.
There's going to be some code swaps going on after the
code
show, isn't there?
Is happening. Definitely happening.
Here's a full library for you. Here's a full library for you.
Yeah, I'm going to just hook it up.
Then our listeners are like, what about Fuck
you guys got to keep us alive. Keep us eating, please.
And then what's next for you guys? Like, what's coming next from Farsight? What's coming next from Zen?
Well, we have I don't know if you guys saw the hint in our newsletter, but we have a soccer-themed table coming up. And we can't say what it is yet, but it's for you guys to guess.
I saw that hint. I have thoughts, but I don't know if I'm right, because I don't know if it matches What the hint is, I don't know.
Well, all you could do is take a guess and see what his reaction is. He has video, so you could see if he has a good poker face.
I will say there's definitely one soccer game that's sort of renowned above all others. Don't know if it's that one or not, but there are a number out there, so I'm curious.
Yeah, well, you'll see closer to the end of this month. It'll
pretty soon, I guess.
Yeah. Yep, we're working on it right now.
Good stuff. And Mike, Mel, what else is happening with Zen? I know Pinball FX3 is coming soonish, we think.
Yeah, FX3 and Universal Classics will launch together. We'll have a date for everybody here in the next few weeks.
Damn, I was hoping you'd slip.
Hey man, I actually, the date ran in my head and I was like, nope, stop yourself.
So close.
It sounds so natural just to say it, but I'm glad I'm still have the wherewithal to not do it.
Just whisper it. No one will hear you.
We have an original pinball release that'll happen a few weeks following our FX3 launch. It's 2 brand new original tables. We've actually teased these in the launch or the announcement trailer for FX3, so check it out. And then we've got a 3-pack of tables that will hopefully release in December. That's what we're targeting, but we'll see if we can hit it. And in between there, we've got some new themes that we'll release for Infinite Minigolf. And we've also got a VR title that we're publishing for another developer from PC onto PSVR, which we'll be talking about. And then we will announce another brand new IP before the end of the year, which we'll be releasing Q1 of next year.
Nice. And Grant, what about you? What are you working on, Grant?
Well, I have a tape. No, I'm making music. That's all I'm doing.
Mixtape.
You have a mixtape. It's pretty hot.
Did you make any songs for this episode?
I don't. We talked about that yet. I don't even know if I have.
You bastard.
You're welcome.
We're gonna need a jingle for the Ball Squad.
Seriously,
we're gonna need a.
And we need
Ball Squad. Ball Squad. Multi-ball 2X.
You have 3 days to make a song, Grant. Special theme song for this episode only.
We'll have some. Hey, watch what you wish for.
I'm wishing for it. I am just straight up wishing for a new theme song for just this episode of you singing Ball Squad, Ball Squad.
I've done so many jingles recently. I keep it's actually pretty easy to whip together a 10-second thingy. So maybe I'll open the DAW after we get off here and see what happens.
Yeah, we want something heavy.
We gotta have you guys come back next week for episode 2. So
yes.
I gotta do something.
Ball Squad.
Honestly, this has been a pleasure having both of you guys on and Grant having you along as well. I would love to do this again sometime. Clearly not next week because we need some time to rebuild our stamina. But I would love to get you guys on again sometime. This was really awesome to do.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely down. Just let's pick a date. And let's make it happen. Whatever.
Well, whenever you're in California, because I'm sure trying to schedule when you're in Budapest is going to be kind of rough.
It is the middle of the night. It's 2 or 3 in the morning there right now.
Just pull an all-nighter, right?
I've done it. It's happened before.
Yeah, you guys are all welcome to come to the studio if you're ever around this area.
Yeah, next time I'm down south, I'd love to stop by and play the. I don't know if you remember this, but I told you that when I was in North Carolina, the diner that you guys have in your warehouse, unless it's on location, is actually my buddy's diner. He's he sold his diner, and I was like, damn it, you sold your diner. He said, you ever heard of Farsight Studios? I'm like, yeah, I have. So yeah, apparently you bought his diner from North Carolina, and that's the one that's in the game. So
Nice. Yeah, he should look in the game and see if his ware is still there. Because we leave some of the ware on the tables.
Oh yeah, perhaps.
Yeah, like in the plunger lane, it might be the exact same ware that's been there when he left his house or his
abuse.
That is so cool. Yeah. Well, we could wrap this up now. Everyone else, stick around. We're going to take a quick little break. I'm sure we'll play something from Grant, and then we'll be back with the rest of the normal episode. Mike, Mel, thank you both so much for coming on the show. Mike, an extra thanks to you for continuing to put the SML podcast in your newsletter every month.
Yep.
Despite the fact that we cover a lot more than just pinball. But
that's right.
It is an honor to be included in that every month. And again, thanks to the both of you for coming on. Do you guys have any final words? You could each take a turn, and then we'll go to break.
Sure. Mike, you want to go?
Knife fight for the honors.
Please go at the same time. No.
1, 2,
Yeah, well, Milk
3.
and Matt, thanks for having us on. It's been awesome, and I hope the fans really enjoy having both Zen and Farsight together here. It's been fun for us.
Yeah, I will echo those sentiments. I think it's been cool to chat, and thanks for having us. And I always say thank you to all the players who support Zen and buy our stuff, and we just try to make the best stuff for you. So thank you so much.
And Grant, what about you?
Thanks for bringing me on and having me chat up my favorite video pinball guru PR people. Ball Squad!
Ball Squad!
Ball squad, ball squad. Shoot for the skill shot, it's a house ball. Ball squad, shoot the green like a mock shack pie. Mike is the simulator, Mel is the zen. Show with the milky voice, image the U buffet. Ball squad, with a ball squad.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for hanging around. I hope you enjoyed our premiere episode of Ball Squad. Thanks again to Grant, Mel, and Mike for dropping by and hanging out with us. But we got to move on to the actual episode. Joining me as usual, CJ. CJ, how you doing?
I didn't really plan to be asked that right now.
Really?
I'm joking. I don't really have a feeling. Like, it's just today. Hi. I'm okay. I'm not bad. I'm not great. I'm just like, I'm alive.
Well, I will say a lot has happened in the time between when we recorded Ball Squad and then tonight when we're recording this. And we have a lot to talk about tonight. And for as much as we love Xbox on this show, I think we're going to be kind of pissed off tonight.
I'm going to take a wild dump on them right now.
So we'll just jump right into the news. We have plenty of show coming up, reviews and giveaway and all that fun shit. But news of the week, the top thing is that Xbox unveiled another new dashboard overhaul that they're bringing out. Like, it feels like every other year they're talking about how they want to redesign the dashboard to have a unified look among all platforms. Why don't they just stick with the fucking unified look instead of changing the unified look every other week? It feels
it pisses me. This dashboard is perfectly fine. Why do they change it? It works. Like, everybody's happy with it.
I can understand why they're trying to speed things up, make things quicker. I know even, with all the games and DLC that I have installed, I have a lot of issues with like the My Games and Apps section crashing. But this new dashboard is just hot garbage. It is. It's
literally the worst it's been. Like, I would prefer the original Xbox One dashboard.
Yeah. They announced it. What was it, Monday or Tuesday? They showed off like, this is what we're planning for the coming months, and then like later that day it was on preview, and the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, this looks really bad. I guess I'll see how it is when preview happens. And I got my update later that night. First off, it fucking factory reset my system, which is always fun. I ended up going through like 3 factory resets this week.
Wow.
Yeah. Because of the new dash. Like, I know it's an alpha. I know that we're there to test it. This thing needed to be in internal testing for a long time still, I think.
Yeah, this thing is a total piece of shit. I can no longer connect by my wired connection. I have to go back to Wi-Fi in order to connect to Xbox Live.
Did you drop out of Alpha Ring?
No, I did not.
You probably should.
Yeah, I probably should, but it's like, then I got to put in the effort of going back, which means I got to fucking reset it, and I don't want to do that again and again. I've already done that so many times. I'm so tired of it.
My third factory reset was so that I could drop out of the Alpha Ring. I did it for a day. The next morning I woke up. Ashley was like super pissed off. She's like, I turned on the system, it was a black screen. I tried doing this, it stayed a black screen. I turned it off, I turned it back on. It's been stuck on the green Xbox logo for 20 minutes now. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Like, it is crashing constantly. One of the big things that they talked about with the new Dash was that you can have special blocks on your homepage of, like, if there's a game you play a lot, instead of just having it as a pin, it has its own dedicated block on the page.
Which I don't see the purpose of.
Like, it could have potential if that, like, for example, I play Rock Band a lot. So the first thing I did was I added a Rock Band 4 block. And then, it's like you could hit the button and move things around. So I did it, and home froze. I tried moving a block, and home froze and crashed.
Oh, home is freezing constantly.
Oh, yeah. And
guide is also freezing constantly.
And most times when, if something crashes on your Xbox, it just boots you back to the home menu. What do you do when home fucking crashes? It just sits on a black screen. Ugh. But, the Rock Band 4, the little home panel thing, whatever it was, it just went to show one of the biggest issues with this new dashboard, in that they are shoving clubs and suggestions down your fucking throat. Like,
who the hell even cares about the clubs thing? Like, nobody's into it.
Like,
it was a good idea, but nobody's using it.
There's an SML club and we never use it because I don't give a fuck about clubs. I don't give a fuck about clubs. I don't give a fuck about my own club, so I'm not going to give a fuck about anybody else's club.
Exactly.
All the suggested friend bullshit, like, that needs to go away forever. I never, ever, ever want to be told that I should friend some random stranger because they play the same game I do. And even the suggestions are fucked up. Like, on the Rock Band page, it's like, here's a suggested club. And it was for Ruby.
Wow.
Yeah, the Ruby fan club was a suggested club for Rock Band. How does that make any sense?
I don't know. I think the whole stupid blocks thing is dumb. I do like the games with gold one, because that means people that don't understand it are even less likely to miss it.
I mean, that'd be fine if they didn't already take up, a quarter of the section below, the main panel on the homepage with a games with gold ad block, and then the other quarter is another ad, and then the other half of that bar are just single square tiles of your most recent apps.
Yeah, it's such a dumb change. I hate it. It's ugly. The guide now scrolls side to side. Why?
I like that. I don't have a problem with that. It's like the old blades on the 360. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is all those tabs that they have there. Like, you go to the Friends tab. You go to a Friends tab, what do you expect to see?
Oh, yeah, that is annoying, too.
Friends?
Instead of seeing all your friends listed, you have to fucking press A on your friends to view all your friends.
Yeah, it shows you icons for 5 people. It doesn't even have, like, 5 of your favorites there. It just has icons for 5 people and then plus however many other people are online. And you have to click on that to actually get to your friend list. So you open the guide, go to your Friends tab, and it doesn't show you your friends. You still have to click some other shit to actually see your friends. And it is ridiculous. It is stupid. No, they have 2 different settings there for, like, clubs and then find a club. Fuck off with clubs. Seriously, fuck off with clubs. Fuck off with friend suggestions. I have never hated a dashboard update the way I have hated this one.
Yeah, like, even the last one, I got pissed off when they changed it just because it was constantly fucking up my system and made it brick constantly. But at least once it worked, it was nice, it was quick, and it had a good look to it. The guide worked, it was fine. I didn't really care for the whole changing to the one-button press because I liked going back home. But now that I got used to it, it was fine. Why do we got to change everything again, though? Like, now the guide scrolls side to side. Like, that wouldn't be a problem if that's how it was, but it was up and down, and the guide looked better up and down, like with the bar and then the things, instead of now there's like the part of the screen where it's the guide's not actually on the side of the screen, it's like a little bit past that, so now you get the game on both sides. It's really fucking weird. It's just like, why changed it? Stop changing things.
And even just your main home screen, it worked fine. Things covered the screen, there was enough real estate per item, and now this time it's just white text with a shitty background and then a whole bunch of icons crammed together. So it's both way too cluttered and way too much empty space at the same time.
Yeah, it's an ugly dashboard. Like, this is the kind of thing that Xbox Live users should be able to opt out of getting the new dashboard completely, because nobody's gonna want this.
Like, I know this is something that's still planned. Like, the update is what, 1710, something like that, which means it's supposed to be like an October update. So it's out early. They have like 2 months to work on this thing, 2.5 months to work on it and try getting it in better shape. It is nowhere near ready. I have never opted out of a preview as fast as I have with this one. It is so...
I think...
Go ahead.
I think it's about time for me to just quit the preview program altogether and just go back to the way things were.
Yeah.
It's proving actually worse. Like, originally I liked the idea of, mainly because of backwards compatibility. I wanted the ability to play the games quickly. And now it's like, I do not want this at all. I don't want to have these updates. Every time I get a new update, I'm complaining because it's always broken.
Yeah.
So it's not for me anymore. And this is pissing me off.
And I know full well what I'm getting into with the preview program, that it's an alpha software. There's going to be a lot of updates, a lot of bugs. The whole point of it is to submit feedback on what's working, what's not working, what issues you're having. This is just, in my opinion, this is so beyond horrible and broken that they're going to need a miracle or to just fucking scrap this entire idea. And the general feedback online has been overwhelmingly negative. Like, there's one good thing about this update, and that things are a lot quicker.
It doesn't feel like it to me. I'm still having, with the constant freezing, I'm still taking just as long.
When it's not crashing, it's a lot quicker. Like, I noticed a significant speed increase on the home screen and going through the menus, and like even just detecting my hard drives, it seemed to be a lot quicker than it used to.
It took like 5 minutes to load my games and apps ready to install list. It was like, Jesus Christ, this is taking so long. And it wasn't frozen because I could scroll through the things. It just wasn't loading it for like 5 minutes. And I sent my friend Snapchat images, and he was like, oh my God, this is literally the ugliest thing I ever seen. I'm so glad I'm not in the preview program. It's like, he thinks it's just preparation because they want a new dashboard for when the Xbox One X comes out.
Yeah,
it's like
that. I think that's what they're aiming for. It's just, this is such a horrible design. Such, like, even, Jesus, the community feed. Like, I don't mind the community feed on the Xbox One right now, where it's just like a big list of, this is what this person did. This person got an achievement. This person posted an update. This new one, it changes it so it's like full screen width, and it's just box. It's just
it looks a lot like the PlayStation one now.
And I hate the PlayStation activity feed.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
It is ugly. It is cluttered. It's bad. It is just bad. We love Xbox on this show, and this new dashboard is bad. Very, very bad. And I really, really hope that things change in the next 2 months, that this is somewhat okay by the time it, like, we kind of have to accept that this is going to happen. Like, every time a new dashboard comes along, we're like, oh, I don't like it. Change sucks. This is just bad, and we're going to have to accept it. It's coming.
There's nothing. They're not going to get rid of it now because it's too late.
And just hope that something okay happens. I know Mikey Barra went on record saying that, like, all the suggestions and stuff is supposed to be based off an algorithm, and the algorithm isn't functioning properly. That's why people are getting all this shit that they don't care about. I don't want a fucking algorithm to tell me what I want on my feed.
Just look at the fucking Xbox voice or whatever they called it, where you can vote on your favorite ideas.
The user voice.
Look at that and pick the top rated ones. That's what's easy.
Facebook changed from showing everybody's posts in order to a super secret algorithm that shows you what you should want to see. Everybody hated it. Twitter wants to start doing shit like, this is what your friends are liking. We're going to show you this shit that you don't give a fuck about. Everyone hates that. And now Xbox is like, oh, well, here's a suggested club that you might... I don't give a fuck about it. I care about what I care about, and I don't want you telling me what you think I want to care about, because I don't.
Yeah, it's so fucking stupid.
These random spam friends that are showing up that I don't give a fuck about. Oh yeah, you're gonna show your tits on your community feed of like, look at this kill I got in GTA Online with a low cut top. Add me and friend me. Get fucked. Seriously.
And now there's these it's constant bots all over the place too on Microsoft. Like, what the fuck's going on with that?
That's happening on PlayStation as well. So it's.
I don't get the bots though. Like, why? How is it?
I don't know. I am so.
I feel like your account should be locked to not be able to message anybody until you have like 100 gamer score. Because then none of this bot shit would happen. Yeah. Because they would have to actually play a game in order for it to work. And it's not hard to get 100 gamer score, so it's not like it's a ridiculous requirement.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. I've never been so pissed and frustrated with Xbox than I have with this new dashboard update. Like I spent half the day thinking like, is this where I become a PlayStation guy again?
I'm honestly, with how many problems I've had even before this, because I'm having a lot of problems. I mean, I've been messaging you about them every time. It's like, oh my fucking god, my Xbox One's being garbage again. I'm honestly considering just going back to PC gaming and just saying fuck Xbox. Until the X comes out, I'm done.
At this point, I can't really blame you. It's just,
I mean, I honestly thought about messaging you yesterday and just being like, yo, don't even bother asking me if I want another Xbox game. I'm just going to do Steam games.
All right, then I'll ask other people.
Because my Xbox is total trash right now. I can barely use it.
Well, first thing you got to do is leave the preview program. Or at least drop out of the alpha ring. Go to like the Delta or the Omega or something. Just get out of the alpha ring. I'm back to like, I think I switched to the Omega tier, which is the third one. By the way, they changed how the preview program works, so it's not alpha, beta, 3, and 4. It's alpha, beta, delta, and omega. And I forget which one. Delta's the third one, and that's the one I switched to because I still want to check out preview stuff. I just don't want the first wave of horse shit that people are dealing with and absolutely hating. I mean, I know that they have to work through kinks and work through everything else, but this needed so much more time in private closed testing, and this is just awful. Absolutely awful. And I hope that they listen to the feedback that people are saying, and I hope they fix it. I really do.
I really hope so, because I don't want to
leave Xbox.
Yeah, I really don't want to become a Steam main gamer again. But if I keep having issues, I'm gonna, because it's easier to play and just launch a game on Steam than it is to fucking deal with all the issues I'm having on Xbox. That makes it take like 20 minutes before I could start my game.
Yeah, don't worry, Latino. I am not going to go back to PlayStation. If anything, my new baby is a handheld that also plays on my TV. I love the Switch. I really do. I'm so happy that we're getting more stuff to cover for the Switch and that a lot of games are coming out. I know Mikey Barrow went on some podcast and started talking about how all the backlash that they're getting, and I tweeted out like, Mike, if you're going on shows talking about the controversy with the new dashboard, come on SML.
We won't shit in your mouth.
I fully welcome anyone from Microsoft to come on the show and try to explain this garbage new dashboard, because when it comes to like multi-platform podcasts, which we cover all platforms, we are very much Xbox first, and we hate this dashboard.
It's not just a single opinion from one of us, so it's not like a back and forth. It's like, we agree this is the worst update we've gotten in a very, very long time.
Like nearly everyone I've talked to online, like some people are like, oh, well, I like the new horizontal switching guide. It's like, I could see the benefits of that. I like the design. I think it's pretty decent, but it's horrible execution where half the stuff is still gated off behind extra clicks. It's all about simplicity instead of click, 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 move, click, 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 do this to, hey, look, there's my friends.
I don't know why we just can't ever keep things the same. Why do we have to change things? Like, just, if it works, why change it?
And one of the other key additions that they were talking about was that you can batch move games and apps from one drive to another I attempted to use the feature 4 different times, and every time it locked up and crashed my system.
That's not surprising.
Like, I don't know if it's because of how much shit I have on my systems that the Xbox is like, oh, we can't handle this. But
they still haven't added the ability to remove games from your profile, have they?
oh, I don't care. If you play a game, it should be on your profile. Suck it up.
I don't care as much as I used to because I haven't cared about achievements for
There's
like
a zero
month and a
gamer
half.
score game on my achievement list. Well, then play it and get some fucking achievements. But I don't like it. Then why'd you play it? Because I play everything.
Because you wanted to try it. Nah, but I'm kind of out of the achievement thing too. I'm not really doing it. Even when I'm playing games, I'm just playing games now.
Seriously, if you're that uptight about achievements, make a dummy profile and try a game on there and see if you like it before you put it on your main profile.
I remember I wanted to do that.
You wanted to do that with review stuff. I'm like, well, I kind of like the transparency of us having these games on our account, but you know, I can't stop you from doing it. But now you're at the point where you might not play games on your Xbox anymore. So what's the matter?
Yeah, and to be fair, I did that with a couple of games, and I was like, yeah, but why? I'm just missing out on gamer score anyway.
Yeah.
And if I like the game, now I got to replay part of it.
Yeah.
So
just
no
fucking
point.
play a game. Whatever. Completionists need to just...
I don't know.
Knock it
Now
the
the
fuck
only
off.
games I'm worried about completing all the achievements are Telltale.
Oh, man. But it's not all bad news in the world of Xbox. There is some good news as well. 4 new games were added to the backward compatibility lineup this week. Some okay stuff in there. Disney's Bolt, I thought, was an interesting choice.
Hopefully that'll be in the Game Pass. Oh, I canceled my Game Pass membership because I haven't been using it, so I don't want to spend the $10. I'll get it when I want to use it again.
Yeah. I thought Bolt was kind of enjoyable. I played it on the 360, one of my palate cleanser games, and I didn't complete it. Like, I beat the game, but I didn't get all the achievements. But it was a fun, enjoyable game. I dig Disney platformers. There's some good stuff in there. Clearly, GameStop jacked the price up. Surprisingly, it went from $9.99 to only $14.99, so not bad.
Oh, that's not that awful.
Yeah. 2 arcade games were added with Deadliest Warrior and Fighting Vipers. If you're a gamer score addict, Fighting Vipers, you should probably own that because it's a super easy 400.
Yeah.
And then the 4th game was Batman Arkham Origins, which was a pretty awesome addition.
Although apparently it's the disc version only.
Well, it was never made digital on Xbox, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains that.
Yeah.
I noticed that he put like disc only, so I was like, huh, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't think that one was ever sold digital on Xbox.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like the Mass Effects and Battlefield 3, which Battlefield 3 you can now buy digital.
Yay, it finally came.
Yeah.
It's a little overpriced considering you can get it for $1.99 used at GameStop, but, well, at least, maybe not anymore, but you used to be able to get it for that.
Speaking of price increases at GameStop, Batman went from $9.99 to $19.99. So
that's more like GameStop.
yeah, I'm glad I got that the day it went on, the day it was announced. Then you'll get a kick out of this. I got Call of Duty Ghosts because it was free.
It was free.
Yeah. Like
How was it free?
Because they had so many at the store that I was in that it was like marked down to 99 cents.
Oh,
And,
wow.
Yeah. Like normally it's $4.99. So I'm talking about the 360 version of the game, by the way, because it's backward
Oh,
compatible.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The store I was at had it marked down to 99 cents just to get rid of them, and with the discounts that I get on other stuff, like technically the game was free with the purchase of Arkham Origins because the buck I
Nice.
saved on that. So
You
fuck
should play
man.
it sometime, because that's the only version I have is the 360 version.
I doubt it, but you know, I had to pull a CJ and get it because it was so cheap.
Hey, at least I didn't choose a bad game. I chose Rock Band.
True.
So you can't really complain.
We mentioned Battlefield 3. Battlefield 1 is now part of the EA Access Vault. So Titanfall
Yeah.
and Battlefield from last year are both in the vault now.
I'm so annoyed that I barely touched Titanfall. I didn't actually. I haven't played it. I launched it up. I went into the multiplayer options. I changed my class around and got an achievement. And that's all I've done in that game.
Good
and
times.
I spent $30 on it, and now it's in the vault. $30 could have gave me a year's access to that and other games.
Yeah, it could have. Let's see, what other news? Warner Brothers has taken the wildly popular Nemesis system of Shadow of Mordor and gave it the one thing everybody has been clamoring for, microtransactions. Yes, the Nemesis system is being turned into a mode similar to the base building in Metal Gear Solid 5, and microtransactions will be there for war chests, for new orcs, loot chests, for new weapons and armor, XP boosts, and other wonderful real money consuming goodies. I'm worried about it. It makes it feel like a pay to win game for the whole base invading like I don't want microtransactions in a single player game.
That's really stupid. Yeah, I could see where it comes in for like multiplayer games, because like if you want some skins or something that doesn't change it up too much, then microtransactions are fine. But
it's just
why
fucking frustrating that.
That's like with Assassin's Creed and how you can buy like bonuses that gives you, like in Black Flag, more materials to upgrade your ship. You could buy that for $1.99, or fucking maps so that you can see where all the collectibles is for like $1.99.
See, like
why?
Shit like that I don't mind. Like I bought the treasure map in Forza Horizon 3.
I bought the treasure map in the AC4 because I was like, it's way easier.
If it's cheap enough, I'll buy tiny shit like that. Like a one-time, one purchase done. If it was something like pay $3 to reveal it for your current play session only, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, no, that's shit like that is annoying.
And so many people are, pointing out what this is. It is straight up gambling, in that you're buying a blind box of who knows what's in there. Who knows if you're going to get anything good? You're paying money for a shot at something good. That's just straight up gambling.
That's like CS:GO and Rocket League. It's like,
yeah, and Overwatch.
CS:GO gambling's a real issue.
Yeah, if it was a free to play game, that's one thing, because that's how they make their money. But this is a full-fledged, full-price game with a season pass, I'm sure, and microtransactions.
Or like I don't mind how Overwatch or Titanfall 2 did it, where it's like all the updates they're given, they're free. They're not making you pay for extra maps and game modes.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's okay to me. Like Halo 5 did. Like, that was fine.
And then all the shit you buy is cosmetics.
Yeah, don't make paid DLC and microtransaction like Call of Duty. Like, what are you doing?
They're just, I don't know. I had so much hype for Shadow of War, and this really put a damper on my excitement for the game. It really did. I'm to the point where I'm considering not getting it. But I put so much money on that fucking Mithril Edition pre-order that I might as well just keep it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's up to you.
Because I'm a whore.
Yeah, you just can't help yourself. You
Very
see a collector's
true.
edition and you're just like, I need it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this Mithril Edition's a really nice looking collector edition. A handful of game announcements were unveiled this week. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is going to be releasing October 3rd on Xbox and PS4, and surprisingly, only $30.
Ooh. Cool.
Yeah, they won me over with that price point. I was like, if this is probably going to be like a $50 game. $30, I'll buy that motherfucker day one. Dragon Quest Builders 2 was officially announced and it's coming to the PS4. Was also announced for the Nintendo Switch. So now they're just actively avoiding the Xbox platform at this point.
Wow.
PlayStation, Nintendo, fuck Microsoft, right? We'll give you a year exclusivity on Tomb Raider, but, a Dragon Quest themed Minecraft style game? Nah. Blow us. I don't know. Square's pissing me off a lot, so I'm very pissed this week, I think.
It's an annoying week to be alive.
It really is. And then not even, game news related, but tickets for MagFest went on sale on I think Tuesday again. And God, that was a train wreck and a half. They had a limited number of early bird tickets at a $59 price tag, which were going on sale at 3 o'clock. I was online at 2:50 waiting for the page to go live so I could order my ticket. I dealt with server crashes for 45 minutes before I was able to place an order, and all the early bird tickets were gone.
Wow, that sucks.
So despite the fact that I was there when tickets went on sale and their servers were the problem, I got fucked. But, oh man, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Bethesda announced Fallout 4 is getting a Game of the Year edition on September 26th. Going to include all 6 of the add-ons and cost $60. So, not bad.
At this point, it's really worth it to get in it because the season pass alone is $50.
Yeah. And then for people who missed out on the collector edition the first time around, they will have a limited number of Pip-Boy editions of the Game of the Year edition, which will include the same wearable Pip-Boy that was in the first collector edition, as well as a poster and a pocket guide, along with the game for $100. So that's a pretty solid deal.
Yeah. That's really good, actually.
What are you saying in chat about a road in Forza?
Oh yeah, there's he's saying that he's drove down like every road and he's missing just one road and it won't, and for some reason the achievement for driving down every road hasn't unlocked. And I'm just mentioning that there's actually a glitch in the game and for some people it doesn't count the last road even though you've driven down every road. There's a very, very good chance that you're missing a tiny minuscule sliver of a road, and that's probably the problem. Yeah, that I know Forza Horizon 3, like if you drive too far away from the road for a stretch, it won't count that you went down that area. So it could be kind of bitchy with that. So, yeah, you're going to have to go into the map, turn off all the icons, and just go over that map with a fine-tooth comb and just look for what you're missing. Look in some of the wooded areas. There's some off-road paths that instead of having a solid road, there's like small dots, like a little dotted road, and you might be missing one of those. I know that's one of the issues I had. So don't drive down everything. Just open up your map and sit there and look. You'll probably find it. Last bit of news I have is that you remember how Steam ended the Greenlight program? Yep.
And they switched over to the Steam Direct, where people could like pay a fee and just release their games direct instead of going through some other program. In the 7 weeks that have passed since they switched over to the Direct program, over 1,000 games have released on Steam.
Oh, wow.
In not even 2 months.
So I guess this was a success.
I think calling the market flooded on Steam is a little bit of an understatement now.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's way too many games.
I mean it is, but then again, like you're gonna find what you like, and who really cares?
In the past 4 weeks alone, there were over 700 games. 4 weeks, 700 games.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of damn games.
Yeah, just a bit.
And I guarantee there's quite a lot of garbage ones. And there's probably some good ones hidden in there, but it's probably a lot of random shit.
Probably. Anyway, do you want to do a giveaway?
No.
That's a loaded question because we're doing it anyway. We have 3 copies of the game Unbox Newbie's Adventure to give away. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 emails. So there's going to be a lot of let down people today.
There's a lot of losers.
A lot of fucking losers out there. I asked you on Twitter to tell us about the worst package you ever got sent in the mail. That's a pretty good one, right?
I hope somebody just writes, somebody sent me their package in an email.
So first email is from Dark Mika, who says, I have a couple. First one, bought a brand new Mass Effect 3 Collector's Edition off Amazon. When I received it, it was in terrible condition, like someone had stomped on it. I sent it back, but there weren't any more to buy for over a month. Ended up spending more on top of it at that point because there wasn't a pre-order anymore. That one came in good. Number 2, I got tore up, what's the best way to say this politely? A rather large dildo. No idea who it was from, no return address. I sure as fuck hadn't ordered it. Looked like it had been a dog's chew toy or something. Safe to say it had probably been used at some point. Number 3, I bought my grandmother a clock, and it was one of those fancy ones where the bits of the clock face moved and it played various musical melodies, cost like $100 or $150. Got to my house in the mail, broken. It was her Christmas present. I was less than thrilled. Took a few hours before the company was willing to take it back and send a new one out to me because they wanted to argue that I broke it myself. That being said, I was able to get a new one in and received it before Christmas by 2 or 3 days. The replacement was fine. Grandma loved her present, but the original order was horrid. Not sure which one is worst. 1 made me punch a sizable dent into my closet door out of anger. 2 made me want to vomit and made me a bit worried about the possibility of a stalker. Never got anything after that. Number 3 made me cry, so pick whichever you want. They were all shitty. So, let's see. Mass Effect dildo clock.
You could have just wrote Mass Effect 3 was the worst thing I've ever got. I'm joking. I haven't played it yet, but I will one day. Or I won't. I don't know.
Next one is from Quick Don't Die, who says, the worst package I have ever received was some Xbox games, which doesn't first seem bad, but imagine how they were packaged. Every single game was disc only, and they were sent in a single Ziploc bag, then placed in a bubble mailer. I guess that's what I get for using eBay. Ziploc bag full of discs. Wow.
Yeah, that's not safe.
Those had to show up in great shape, huh?
I'm sure they all worked.
Next email is from Crumb Donut, who says, hi, I got an empty box from eBay, and no, that's not what I ordered. I'm still mad about it. Worst package ever.
Empty
box. Easy enough. Short, sweet, to the point. Next one is from John Harvey, who says, my ex used to work for a cosmetics company selling fragrances, makeup, and all that stuff. She was like an Avon lady. She sold to friends, family, door to door, etc. That means we had a lot of parcels coming and going regularly. This particular time, she was visiting her mother for a fortnight, and wow, someone said, use the word fortnight as an actual descriptor of time. That is unique. I applaud
Interesting.
you. And while she was gone, had instructed me to store all the deliveries in our bedroom. I first noticed a strange odor a day or two later. It was a sort of rotten meat smell, but I couldn't work on the exact source because the room was chock full of boxed up, strongly scented lotions and potions. I eventually tracked it to a specific corner of the room and started to open all the cases up. After the third one or so, I knew I'd found it. The case reeked, but had been packed in between boxes of fragrant soap by the delivery dudes, so the distinctive odor of death had been obscured until I moved it a little bit. Inside was a very big, very smelly, very dead rat. It must have gotten sealed in somehow, suffocated, and then started rotting. Much of the rat had turned to an oily, fatty liquid and started to slowly soak up into the cardboard packaging of everything in the box. Bits of fur, flesh, and bone were smeared and stuck all over the contents. Maggots were wriggling and crawling all through the rat soup. It really surprised me that one rat, though very large, could make a mess with its remains. The merch was completely ruined. I ended up throwing the whole box away, but I think my missus got credit on her account because we could show it was not our fault. The only package that was nearly as bad was when my first video game pre-order was delivered. It was completely undamaged and delivered on time. It was for X-Men Destiny on the 360. I don't know which one is worse.
I have no idea. I'd never played X-Men Destiny, but I've heard it's bad.
It's bad. It really is. Thanks for the chance, Joe. Good luck to everyone. Thank you, John, for that one. That is a pretty fucked up entry.
That's a loaded entry. Pretty packed.
What do you think he'll say if he loses? Will he just go, rats? It wasn't his destiny. Oh, man, that was Decade of Carnage. Next email is from Robert Mertens, who says, hi-ho, thanks for your new giveaway and for the chance to win. The worst package I ever became was a package for my grandma to Christmas with many socks, shirts, and shorts. Yeah, that's a boring Christmas gift.
I would happily accept that.
So, Christmas socks and other clothes, I'll just put. That works, right?
Appreciate shit more, dude. I don't want to spend my own money on that shit, so I happily.
So now the important question, do we go in order of how I got the emails, or do we save a roto for last?
I feel like if we save him for last, though, then it's going to be fresh in our memory. We're going to want to pick it more. If we let it simmer for a little bit, then maybe we'll realize it wasn't as good as when we first saw it.
All right, the next email is from Aroto Tomato, who says, not the worst package because of the content, but the worst package because of what I did with that content. So those white marshmallow-looking things they fill the box with to avoid breaking the actual object you ordered. As a kid, I was like, well, this looks tasty. Yep, I ate the fucking thing. Only by the 5th one, I started to think it was a bad idea. Couldn't taste anything for days, but thankfully no stomach pain or bloody diarrhea. Now that I think about that for a moment, the toxic marshmallow foam from hell that they use in packages didn't give me diarrhea, but the food from the establishment from my previous email did, and that was actual food, I think. So, packing peanuts are not dinner.
I feel like that could have been a stronger entry, my dude.
I know. Next email is from Latino Heat, who says, good evening to the SML podcast. The worst package I ever received was when I ordered mangoes imported from overseas from an unspecified online vendor through Amazon. I was told they were the best mangoes to buy online since someone I knew had given me one to try. They were very sweet and juicy. On the day my package was supposed to be delivered, there was a delay on UPS. My package wound up getting delivered the next day, which contributed to the disgusting surprise I was about to unfold. Not only was my package damaged when I opened the box, the mangoes were rotten and had dead fruit flies, and the stench blew me away. One lesson learned, don't buy fruit online, especially sent packed in a box. Complete nightmare for me. So, rotten mangoes.
Dude, that's gross.
Next one is from John Prudlow. Hey, there's a new one. Who says, the worst package I ever received in the mail is probably a movie poster that I ordered that showed up all crushed. I don't think we have it anymore. Otherwise, I would send a picture of the damaged art piece. So, fucked up poster.
Yeah, I can see that pain. That sucks. Especially if it's like a limited edition thing.
Yeah, very true. Final email is from Michael Barodi, a.k.a. Swizzlers, who says, I can't think of a worse package other than the time I joined a Lego club. My dad found out I had my neighbor sign me up. They used my name and the neighbor's last name. He was mad. Signed up for Lego. So, we have Dark Mika's Mass Effect dildo clock, Quick Don't Die, who got a Ziploc bag full of discs, Crumb Donut, who just got an empty box, John Harvey with the dead rat in X-Men Destiny, Robert M., who got the Christmas clothes, Aroto, who ate a packing peanut, Latino Heat, who got the rotten mangoes, JP with the fucked up poster, and Swizzlers, who signed up for Legos through his neighbor.
I can't lie, there's not a very strong lineup. Like, there's one obvious winner.
I got two obvious winners.
I feel like, well, I can definitely see two. I'm thinking Dark Mika and John Harvey for sure.
Agreed.
All right, awesome.
So
the other one that's like a little bit more like maybe is the Latino Heat.
I'm kind of torn between Latino and JP with the fucked up poster, because I've been there with getting a poster in the mail that's all jacked up.
Yeah, that sucks, but I mean,
rotten mangoes is pretty god awful though.
Yeah, that sounds really like. That smell alone, like knowing the smell of like rotten cucumbers is awful. So, and I can't imagine what mango smells like.
And the fruit flies, yeah, I think Latino Heat's getting the third one.
All right.
So, congrats to Dark Mika, John Harvey, and Latino Heat. You guys are the winners of Unbox Newbie's Adventure on the Xbox One. Good stuff. Good stuff. And, of course, we are still doing our Conga Master giveaway on Gleam. Make sure to check our tweeters for more info on that. Every week we're doing new giveaways on Gleam. So if you're not following us on Twitter at the SML Podcast, what the fuck are you waiting for?
I think the only bad package I've ever actually received myself was like I had ordered Project Gotham Racing 2 on Amazon, and it was supposed to be an American copy, and when I got it, it wound up being a PAL copy from Spain. And it's like, I couldn't play it. And I was like, oh, great, cool.
Man.
That's about the worst thing I've ever done, and that was like $7. So I was like, whatever. I mean, as a kid, that's a lot of money because I was like, oh, thank you, Dad, for buying me this. Now I know I'm not gonna get another game for like a month, but now it's like $7. Whatever. At least I have a collector's edition, kind of, because it's all in Spanish and kind of cool. It's a classics edition, which is apparently a thing they have over there.
Bueno.
Solo in Xbox.
I think the worst shipping issue I've had recently had to be the Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind. How it just
I thought about
got
that immediately.
shipped to the wrong place, and it showed up broken, and the kid who ended up thinking it was theirs like tore the packaging on it opening it because they were so excited. That one sucked. And then I had to buy it from a scalper for like double the price, although at least Amazon fucking refunded me for that shit. So
yeah, I remember when Dark Mika was mentioning the Mass Effect 3 thing. That's exactly what I thought of as your Morrowind. I knew you would have some compassion for that one.
Yeah.
You recently experienced that.
Very true. Well, anyway, are you ready to get to reviews, or is there anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, we probably shouldn't delay it. The show's long already. Especially with the boys that were pinballing or whatever. Ball
Squad. How can you get that wrong? Ball Squad. There's a theme song and everything. Ball Squad. Ball Squad. All right, so first game to talk about. Shut the fuck up. First game to talk about tonight is called Mr. Shifty, developed by Team Shifty, published by Tiny Build. It released August 4th on Xbox One for $14.99, previously available on Steam, Nintendo Switch, and the PS4. Shift through bullets and master lightning-fast takedowns, an all-new kind of action game from Tiny Build and Team Shifty. Mr. Shifty follows a teleportation-fueled heist to break into the world's most secure facility. CJ, what'd you think about this one?
It is pretty shifty. It's a solid game. It's very, very, very difficult. Like I watched a lot of this game be played. In fact, I think I've seen it beaten, or at least very close to beaten. And so I didn't really take it to be this hard when I was watching it. Like I thought it was like, that doesn't look that bad. And actually playing it and getting used to the whole shifting around to not be shot, and it's hard to tell when you're about to be shot. Yeah. I'm just like, holy shit, this is much more difficult. I did wind up getting somewhat decent into the game, although I noticed that my time nor achievements were unlocking, so I guess I went offline at some point, so that was weird, but it kind of annoying.
You were on an alternate account. You're just trying to see if you liked it.
That's so easy to do. But I really enjoyed it. I'm typically not a huge top-down my Hotline Miami style fan, but I did wind up enjoying this one. I like the music. I like the stylizing of like the cartoonish nature or comic book nature. Yeah. And the way he seems so much like a superhero, almost like Deadpool, and the way things go. Like it's comedy, but it's also somewhat serious. True. And so it's like, it's enjoyable. It's very hectic. You're constantly moving around and dashing, and you get like 5 dashes before you have to let them recharge. And if you're I believe if you're being shot at or you're in the area of enemies, your charges or your dashes don't recharge.
Well, they'll recharge, but if you use all 5, you slow down, and it takes a couple extra seconds for all of them to charge back up. But just if you're just using them, like pacing yourself, use it once and then move, and then use it once and then move, like they'll recharge normally, and it works fine. Because there's some longer hallways in the game that like you need to, take your time and not just mash through. I think I was watching Carnage play it, and it was either Carnage or Memories of Final, one of them, and they would just like spam the teleport button. Like an enemy will be near them and they'll just hit it like 4 or 5 times. I want to say it was Carnage because he's bad at everything.
Yeah, he really is.
I initially reviewed this on the Switch and I really dug it. There were some like slowdown issues and stuff like that I thought was just kind of from the Switch, but I did notice there's a lot of that stuff on the Xbox still, because I ended up picking up the Xbox version as well. I was surprised to see some of the slowdown on there still. Some of the hectic stuff is still frustrating, with the slowdown and lag. And then even some of the longer battle sequences in the game, I thought that they were going to try reworking them to either tone it down or throw a checkpoint in the middle there, because it's frustrating when you fight through 30, 40 guys and the second to last one just punches you without you realizing that they were about to punch. And you got to start the whole thing over again.
Yeah.
So
those ending of the stages, you always got the huge group of enemies.
Which sucks when you're going for a deathless stage run.
Yeah, dude, I don't see how that's fucking possible. I don't know if anybody will ever complete this game. I'm assuming somebody will.
Of course, people will.
But it's gonna take so long. All the other achievements, according to a few people, it's every other achievement in the game isn't that tough, but it's that achievement is almost nearly impossible.
Yeah. The achievements in the game, I think, are pretty varied. There's, of course, the brutally difficult beat every stage without any deaths. Thankfully, you could replay stages, so you don't have to do it all in one run. That would suck if you did.
And you can do it in out of order, whatever.
There's one for beating any stage with no deaths, which the first stage was easy enough to get through that. You play it once, you get the hang of it, you play it again, you knock that out. There was some fun stuff in there too, punch so many times, punch 1,000 times, get a body count of over 800 people cumulative. There was one for spearing 5 people to a wall with the trident.
The trident is the greatest thing of all time, by the way.
That was such an awesome achievement to get, because I wasn't expecting it to happen. I was like, oh, there's a nice line of people there. Oh, there's only 4 of them, so I'll just chuck it. And then apparently it clipped a 5th one somewhere, because that popped, and I got to a wall at the end, and I think there were 6 or 7 people stuck to it.
That's pretty awesome.
It was awesome. So
yeah, I love the trident.
It's a overall pretty solid achievement list. What do you for $15? What are your thoughts on this one?
I feel for $15, it's only really I only really recommend it to people who are generally a fan of difficult Hotline Miami style games with a new twist to it. For an average person, I would give it a try it, because it's still fun, but it's going to be very difficult if you're not really into this kind of game. No. But for the fans of these games, this is an easy buy it, because it's it gives you a good challenge, it changes it up enough that it feels like a new game and it's different, while still having the same elements of those other games.
And it's stylish too. I love the style of the game. I love the art of the game. It's just an enjoyable game that I hope they can figure out the technical issues with the lagginess on some of the more action-packed areas. I know Shiz was losing his mind near the end of the game with how some of the later stages are just insane.
I didn't have too many issues myself, personally.
Yeah. That's because you suck at everything. Eternal in chat is saying that Harry Cabbage already did the completion. Of course Harry Cabbage did the completion. I'm not shocked at all.
Oh, last time I checked it, it said nobody has done it yet. But maybe somebody did it since I was at work.
Probably. But I think tough games are going to be a theme of this episode, and I know Eternal's going to be on later with one to talk about. But the next game to talk about is called Black Hole Complete Edition, developed and published by Fiolasoft Studio. It released August 8th on Xbox One and PS4 for $14.99. When the crew of spaceship Indera is sucked into a black hole, it seems like the end. Fortunately, the ship crashes on Entity, an unidentified object resembling a planet. After the crash, the first member to wake up is the guy who makes coffee for the crew. You. There's no one around, and your only ally is Ariel, the ship's computer's sarcastic AI. Together, you'll need to come up with a plan to fix the spaceship, save the others, and become heroes of the planet Earth by closing the black hole once and for all. This is a 2D puzzle platformer that is heavily based on physics, and this game hates you. I'll just put it... I didn't get very far in this game. When we're reviewing games, I try to get as far as I can, make as much progress as I can, and this game is just possibly one of the hardest games I've ever played. It is just it is ridiculously difficult. The overworld plays out similar to a Metroidvania style of just open caves and areas to explore, and you'll find like hidden secrets and loot cubes and dog tags hidden around the map that you have to collect. But the meat of the gameplay is all level based, where you'll find a little glowing area on the floor, which is its own separate dedicated level that you go into. And while you're in there, you have to collect however many of these little collectibles in the area. You have to collect a minimum of I think 1 per level, 2 on some of the levels. And once you get that, you could leave. But clearly the point is to collect all of them and to do it in a quick time, which collecting all of them alone is tough. But to do it in like the target time that is set for the levels is maddening for some of these stages. And I'm still early in the game, and I don't think I'm going to get too much further because of how difficult it is. A lot of the levels pretty much all of them have twists on gravity, where you'll see a glowing area on the floor, a sparkly glowing area, and you'll walk onto it if it's on a wall or on a ceiling, and it'll switch the gravity to whatever plane that one is on. And then you'll have to figure out how to platform through the area to get all the collectibles and get to the exit in a quick enough time to earn a coffee time, which is like the goal time that you're supposed to get. If you're having trouble with it, they do have a form of replay system in the game, but you are only able to access the replays that other people have done and uploaded. They have to select to share the replay if you collect all the orbs, or I forget what the name of the little collectible is, but you have to collect all of them to see other people's replays. You have to have your own completion on the level to see other people. I know Memories of Final has a bunch of shared replays on there because he's apparently stupidly good at the game. So much of the game revolves around trying to figure out how you have to twist the level to get to each of the collectibles. Some of the stages have like hidden pathways that you got to figure out. They have switch blocks that are going to move platforms and other stuff, open up extra areas. This is, like I said, it's easily one of the hardest games I've ever played for this show. It is brutally, brutally difficult. And there's harder levels in the game that are like bonus content that they didn't put in the game because they were too hard. It's like the game in general for me is too hard. I have honestly never struggled so much with a game. And I'm pretty decent at platformers. I'm pretty decent at puzzle games. And this game just fucking wrecked me in every possible way. It's fun though. If you're a fan of crazy, crazy difficult games, you're gonna love this game. Like I'm sure Harry Cabbage is gonna love this one. I'm sure Greg's, who's entered a handful of our older contests for tougher games, I'm sure he's gonna love the shit out of this one. They have some extra cool content in the game. They call it a complete edition because it has like logs that you could collect and like an art gallery, a soundtrack that you could access, stuff like that. So there's a lot of bonus content there. It's just, can you handle the game? That is the biggest question, because I think the vast majority of people out there are going to see screenshots and videos of this and be like, oh, well, this looks like a cute, action adventure kind of game. This isn't. This is a brutally difficult physics-based puzzle platformer. And if you go in expecting anything different, this game is going to make you its bitch. The end. This game will not be gentle to you. The only time it throws you a bone is the fact that if you're a speedrunner, they have like different options for the amount of text that you could experience in the game. Like you could go full on story heavy and have all the text and all the conversations in the game, which great writing, really funny game, solid voice acting. Or if you're a speedrunner, you could pretty much turn all that off and just get to the game. But the actual game itself is just brutally difficult. For $15, if you're a fan of brutally difficult games, you're going to enjoy it. The vast majority of people, I got to give it a hesitant try it, because I think a lot of people might fire this up, get 10 stages into the game, and then quit.
Makes sense.
If they get 10 stages into the game. I'm sure people won't even get that far. They'll get like 3 or 4 levels in and be like, wow, I can't do this. So, but if this clicks with you, you're going to love it. It's well made. The stages are incredibly unique and inventive. The solutions for the game are, you're going to rack your brain trying to figure out these stages. And when you finally finish a stage in like 10 minutes and you see that someone completed it in like 38 seconds, you're going to be like, what the fuck? And then you'll watch and you'll be like, I didn't know you could do that. So it's cool though. As long as you don't mind brutally difficult stuff, it's worth checking out. I'm bad at it.
Yeah, that seemed pretty evident.
Next game to talk about is one that I'm not bad at. It's called Oh Sir, the Insult Simulator, developed and published by Vile Monarch. It released August 4th on Xbox One for $2.99, previously on Steam and the PS4. Absolve yourself of guilt in the sport of creating the most nasty, dirty dunk you've got cooking. Take friends to task on how their mom's a real fart pillow, or comment on the dead platypus-like odor emanating from your dearest loved one. Fear not, solo players. If you're not the most sociable, you too can fling insults by mercilessly belittling a lifeless computer to take out all of your initial anger at the world. This is an insult simulator. Basically, it's very much rooted in the humor of like Monty Python, and to the point where like the first level in the game is straight out of a Monty Python sketch with the dead parrot, where you are returning a dead parrot to a pet shop, and the guy's like, oh no, well, it's fine, you just don't know what you're doing. And to decide who is right, you get into an insult battle, where there will be a selection of words in the middle of the screen. You'll take turns selecting the words to create the best or worst insults that you can, and then based on how well your insult was crafted, you'll do damage to the opponent. And they have different they have ands in the game, so it's like your mother is ugly and your father is your sister, or just weird shit like there's some of the weirdest insults you could get in this game, and it is ridiculously over the top hilarious. It is so stupid. The joy is trying to come up with, of course, the worst insults you can, but to also make the longest insults you can. And like I know the one achievement is to get like a 50-point insult in the game, which the majority of yours are going to be like 12 to 20, something like that. So that's probably an achievement that you'll have to get like offline and just against a CPU. I mention offline because the game does have online gameplay. Yes,
that's pretty fucking awesome.
A $3 game has online play where you can just either play against a friend or play against a stranger, and you'll take turns insulting each other and win or lose, see how well you do until someone quote unquote dies. The insult quality can range anywhere from nonsensical and off the wall to just straight up mean. There's some crazy characters in the game, to the point that there's like a Morgan Freeman style god that you have to is like the final boss of the game to get into heaven. And they have like a Morgan Freeman voice imitation going with it. And
that's pretty fucking awesome.
Lo Wang from Shadow Warriors in the game. And
that's
like
really fucking awesome.
He could call people a demon's asshole, which is hilarious. The game is T-rated, so that's about as harsh as the game gets. Everything is fully voiced. I think one of the only gripes I have is that because of how chopped up everything is the game, some of the playback could sound kind of janky, but that's to be expected with how many voice clips are in the game, and they have to basically stitch everything together. Each character in the game has its own weakness. Like the one of the, like, God, his weakness is family. So if you say your mother is something, that'll do extra damage because he's weak to family stuff.
That's funny.
Lo Wang is like weak to comments based in reality, like saying he's normal or boring, stuff like that. Some people are weak to attacks on, like, the physical appearance, like you're fat and ugly, that'll do more damage, or like you're old and you're gonna die soon, that'll do more damage. Overall, the game is just ridiculously complex, and it's only $3. Like, this is a $3 online game. This is a must buy. It is over the top, it is crazy, it is stupid, it is ridiculously cheap, and it is hilarious. And I want to insult every single one of my listeners online. So $3, buy this.
At that point, it's so good that it's not even a fuck it, why not? It's just buy it.
It's just so goddamn good. It is so good, and the price just makes it that much better, that it's so cheap. Like, it is a straight up must own. It is hilarious. Yeah, your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries. I think all of those are in the game. I think all of those words are in the game.
I'm pretty sure that's one of the, like, screenshots for the game.
Yeah. Like,
is what that is.
And even the achievements in the game, like, there's stuff to, like, say you use Windows Vista is an insult in the game, and that's an achievement. Or
that's
like,
pretty fucking awesome.
There's just some off the wall achievements. Some of them are going to come down to absolute pure luck to get, and some people may never get them, but oh man, next game to talk about is called Crashday Redline Edition, developed by Moonbite, published by Twotainment, released August 10th on Steam for $11.99. Crashday, the explosive cult classic multiplayer racer, is back, retooled and remastered. Crashday Redline Edition brings back the fun and memories of the original with this lovingly crafted tribute edition, featuring all new and expanded features, including Steam Workshop support. Today is Crashday. CJ, what'd you think of Crashday?
Well, I'll give a little bit of a basis first. I have put well over 150 hours probably into the original Crashday, because I loved this game as a kid back in like 2007. When I think that's around the time I played it. I think it came out in 2006, and I got it around 2007 or 2008.
Oh, wow.
And I loved this game so much. I played the hell out of it. And as a kid, I absolutely adored everything that this game was, because it was, as a kid, it's very easy to play the same thing over and over again and enjoy yourself just because you're doing good, you're having fun, you're winning. And I've coming back to this, I've realized that it doesn't have nearly as much replay value as I thought it did, because there's not a whole lot of variety. It's a lot of doing the same thing over and over again. I mean, there's a few different modes. Like, there's the wrecking match mode where you can use like missiles and machine guns, and you have to basically have a death match. Whoever gets the most kills by the end of a timer, or whoever reaches the most the score limit would win the match. So you could have like 10 wrecks, and then it's like, all right, they won, they killed 10 cars. The second mode is like a weird stunt mode that's hard to control, like your actual stunts. You mainly just go off a ramp and you get points for airtime, and that's about it. Because other than that, like, you can do a loop-de-loop, and that's about it. You can't really do a whole lot of flipping, or you could do some spinning, but flips don't exactly work because I don't know why. You hold forward or backwards, your car doesn't flip in midair because it just can't do it. You can do some spins, but you can't flip. So there isn't really tricks to it, but yet you just kind of get points for flying around and doing random shit. You have a capture the flag kind of mode where you pick up a flag, and then from there you have to drive through certain checkpoints marked on the map. And when you drive through them, you get a point, and you got to get like 5 points first. And if somebody crashes into you, they steal that flag. So it's actually kind of like Oddball, I guess, is the better comparison. Then there's a standard racing mode, which is kind of fun, but a little bit difficult because there doesn't seem to be any way to like repair your vehicle. So if you get highly damaged, you're kind of just fucked.
No.
Which is weird. Like by the end of I did like a very long race because I didn't realize they added new tracks with this, which were all community created ones, I believe, because they show like the track name and then it's like by whatever the username is. So I believe they're all. I think they were originally created in the normal version, but they were popular ones or they were really good, so they decided to implement them in for everybody in this version. And I didn't realize how long the track was because it automatically sets it as like a 3-lap thing, and you can change the amount of laps if you want, but I was like, it's automatically set as that. It turns out it's not adjusted by track length, and this track is like a 4-minute each lap, so it's like a 12-minute race.
Oh man,
which is just
that's like when someone does the final race in Forza Horizon 3. That's like a 16-minute lap, and they'll be like, "Yeah, let's do 5 laps, motherfuckers."
Like,
and then you're just racing for an hour.
Yeah, and it's just like most of the time you're spending in first place anyway.
Yeah.
I will give it credit. In this mode, the racing is fun because they actually keep competitive for at least a while. By the 3rd lap, I didn't really have to worry about anybody anymore. But during the 1st and 2nd lap, they were keeping up and they were pushing ahead. And then they would fall back because they would fuck up. Like the cars seemed to actually have like weirdly almost person-like AI where they can fuck up a turn and completely go into a wall or whatever.
Nice.
And it's like interesting. Like I don't know if that's just weird and bad AI because it is a user-created track, or if they're simply designed to sometimes mess up.
To be more human-like.
Which, if that's the case, I give them good props on that one. The music is still the same music, which is awesome because I fucking love the trailer song, like Low Buzz on the Edge or something. That's an amazing song. I love it. That used to be like my jam. Like I found it on YouTube when I was a little kid, and I just listened to that all the fucking time because it's such a good song. It took me forever to find it too, because it just kept playing the same songs over and over again, and I had to like. You can go through your menu and in the audio thing change like what kind of music it plays. Like there's rock or then electronic. And if you switch in between the things, it'll play a new song every time. It took forever to finally get to that song. And then I just sat there and listened to it for a little bit. I was like,
just paused it and rocked out.
Yep, basically.
Did you have any issues using a controller? Because I put a little bit of time into it. We all know my computer is hot garbage. But my vehicle kept like pulling to the right, and I'm not sure if it's my controller is the issue, if like the dead zone is the issue.
You can adjust the dead zones in the options too. But no, I didn't adjust my dead zones, and mine worked perfectly fine.
Okay, so then that's totally my end then.
You probably used an Xbox One controller,
yes.
I assume. Yeah, I still use the wired 360 one, so maybe that's the difference.
I'm sure it's just an issue on my end because I'm bad with computers.
Possible. Yeah, it's very possible. I will say I didn't get a chance to try it online because at the time that we were playing, I was playing it. It was before it launched because it officially launched today, and I was at work today, so I couldn't get a chance to play it.
Yeah.
And so there was nobody playing the online, so I couldn't really tell if the online is actually good or not. But the single player is still fun. It's just I couldn't find myself wanting to play it as long as I used to. Like I used to be all about it, and now I'm like, I forgot how repetitive it was. Just because as a kid it was like.
Up.
There is a little mini games thing that kind of reminds me of Flat Out, but there's not a whole lot to it. Like there's a long jump, and then there's like a checkpoint rally thing where you want to go through the checkpoints as quick as possible and stuff. It's more of a little bit of variety, but not like crazy. There's like a few different mini games, and a lot of them are locked behind getting further in the campaign.
But then you also have to consider that Flat Out is a $50 game.
No, I'm talking about even just the original. The original Flat Out had a fuck ton of different things. Like you had the bowling and the fucking launching yourself out of the car to see how far you can go and hit dartboards. Point is that this doesn't have as much variety, and also I noticed that the screenshots make it look a lot better. Like the environments look alright, but they don't look like they were changed that much from the original. Like back then, that looked really good, and it seems like they mostly kept it the same look.
Yeah,
with just like minor tweaks. which, like, the lighting is better. The sunlight, it looks a lot better. But the vehicles and stuff and the roads look the same, and the roads kind of look a little bit pixelated. The trees look awful because back then trees never looked good in racing games, and
True.
They still don't in this one. For the price of $12, I mean, I can't be mad at it. That's a good price. I loved this game as a kid. I've put hundreds of hours into it, so I can't really say that it's a bad game.
I was surprised when I saw it was a $12 game. I was expecting minimum 20, maybe 30.
Yeah, I was thinking 22. I was like,
so to come out at $12, I was pleasantly surprised, and I think that'll score a lot of points with people. That it's a fairly cheap, still solid game. It's it's not as polished as the new stuff that comes out, but it's not trying to be.
Also, it's funny, the achievements for playing a certain amount of times do not work at all. They just unlock. Like, I had the 10-hour achievement before I launched the game.
Yeah,
which doesn't even make sense.
So
but
overall, $12. What's your verdict?
I gotta give it a buy it just because it's for the price. I mean, I put too much time in it to give it anything less for that price. Like, I did like the game a lot, and it is still a fun game. It's just you're probably gonna want to find some people to play with, because otherwise you're gonna get bored of it after a little while.
Wow, I was expecting a recommended try it, but hey, rock on. I mean, if it's that good.
It's still just for the song alone. Like, if you just want to listen to that song.
Man, the only song I want to listen to is Ball Squad.
God damn it. Ball men, they love balls.
Squad. Ball Squad.
I refuse. I'm going to keep calling you men. It's funnier.
All right, so next game to talk about is called The Shrouded Isle, developed and published by Kit Fox Games. It released August 4th on Steam for $9.99. Your Excellency, you must prepare for the awakening of our Lord. He hungers for a human sacrifice every season. Sinners try to hide their dark secrets, but all must be purged. Ooh. Dark Mika covered this one for us, so she's pulling a lot of duty today. Winning stuff, writing stuff. Good stuff. Let us see. What did she email in with? In the Shrouded Isle, you play as effectively a leader of ye old cult. You have to keep your people's various stats at proper levels. The stats are ignorant, fever, discipline, penitence, and obedient. I don't know if it's penitence or if that's a typo, or I don't know. The plot is that you created this town so your people will be saved from their wrath of their god. In order to keep their stats high, you manage the town by putting people in advisor positions for each of the 5 houses, each of which correspond to a listed stat. The 5 advisors can affect the stats of the community as a whole each month. Every character has positives and negative traits. That being said, you don't know all about the traits a person has if you know any at all. To learn about your people, you either inquire about them, which you can only do a few times a season, or use them as advisors for a few months to reveal their traits. This means you go into every season blind as to what each advisor is going to do to the community as a whole. You use 1 to 3 of the 5 each month, and then you choose which ones work, and therefore which one affects the community as a whole. After 3 months, you have to sacrifice 1 of the 5 advisors. Who murder? You want to be the one with the worst vice because they damage the society the most. After the sacrifice, you choose advisors again, minus the one you sacrificed, obviously. If you find someone you really like as an advisor, you can keep using them. The god talks to you after each season, ordering you to sacrifice someone else. From what I've played, after being told who to sacrifice, which is rather obscure, you get a letter from one of your people telling you of someone who fits that bill, so you know who to look into for their sacrifice. The ones that the god wants you to sacrifice, however, are people with bad vices. The issue with this is to sacrifice someone that they have to be an advisor. This means you have to put someone you know is bad as an advisor so you could kill them off to appease the god. So you basically have to hinder yourself for a few months to sacrifice the right person. Which is an interesting twist. The gameplay itself is simple. Everything is done with the mouse. There's no voice acting. Everything is done with text, so you'll be reading. Not much, thankfully. The game, however, is confusing. Trying to keep stats high or even moderate is difficult. If any stat is too low at the end of a season, you lose, even if it's the start of the 3rd season, which is how my first playthrough went. So I played 6 months, a total of maybe 10 minutes, and lost. You have to survive for 3 years to win. As such, it's easy to play but hard to understand and beat. It's effectively a management game. There's lots of these types for building businesses where you have to make everyone happy, pay them well, and still make money to grow quickly. This is the same thing, except it's a cult. It's also a bit more convoluted because of the multitude of traits and because you don't affect everything as directly as you do in many other manager games. For $10, I say try it. Once you get the hang of it, supposedly is not that hard. It has good sound, simple gameplay, and visually is nice and stylized. If you're into management games, totally get it. If you hate them, you might want to stay away. You don't want to break into the genre with this one. Other management games will make a lot more sense. I will say, this one was fun trying to find someone who wanted to review it. I offered it to a number of people. Clearly, I try to avoid PC when I can. And everyone I offered it to was like, what is it? Like, everyone was afraid to jump on it because they didn't know what the hell the game was. And once it came out and it started getting reviews and people started talking about it, like, nearly all of them came back and were like, hey, is that game still available to review? So I think this has the potential to be like a sleeper hit. It sounds like once it clicks with you, it sounds like it's something pretty solid.
That's awesome.
And it's a fun twist on management sims as well. All right, and the last game to talk about tonight is called Sine Mora EX, developed by Digital Reality and Grasshopper Manufacture, published by THQ Nordic. It released August 8th on Xbox One, PS4. For $19.99, a Switch release is coming, quote, later this summer as well. Sine Mora EX is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up that provides a unique challenge where time is the ultimate factor, mixing classic shooter sensibilities with a contemporary presentation. Sine Mora is a gorgeous shoot-'em-up offering both a story mode that weaves an over-the-top tale and an arcade mode that provides deep, satisfying gameplay to challenge fans of the genre. With many ways to manipulate time, Sine Mora EX features over 50 weapon combinations to complete each beautiful stage that fits to the player's skills with scaling difficulty. We've talked enough tonight, so we're bringing in a good friend of ours to cover this one for us. Cole Martin, welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for toughing out the previous however long the show's been.
I'm not asking CJ
Yeah, I'm
how
so
he is. I don't care.
tired. My voice hurts.
Oh, it's been such a long
From
one.
how much I'm talking.
So tell us, what is this game?
Well, you kind of basically covered everything already.
All right,
I'm
so what's
not
your verdict?
Why I'm here. In all reality, this game is really good. It's beautifully done. The controls work perfectly. There isn't a whole lot to complain about, except it's very much. No. I started with it's beautiful and it plays well, except it is definitely your classic shmup in that it's ungodly difficult. Just bullet hell. This game is hard. And it's not, what's a good way to put this? It's not hard in like you don't know where to go or you can't pick up the patterns or you can't see the patterns easily. It's just that there's so much shit being thrown at you all at once. And there's no way to set it to indicate where your little plane's hitbox is. So it's hard to be sure if you're actually getting through the bullets. That said, despite it being ungodly hard, it does have a really unique metric in that your plane does not have a health bar. Instead, each section of the chapter is timed, and there's a timer in the center at the top that counts down. If you run out of time, you meet your untimely demise, and you have to start again at the beginning of the chapter.
Pun.
If,
Womp.
however, you can manage to, if you destroy an enemy plane, or say if you're attacking a boss and you take out one of the boss's weapons, you will get some of that time back. But if you get hit by one of those obscene amount of bullets that's on the screen, you lose time as opposed to losing health. Certain bullets obviously will do more damage and take away more time, as others may just take away like a fraction of a second.
Okay. I know it's been a long night.
I was hoping for some more feedback, but all you've done so far is fuss at me.
I'm curious to know. I know a lot of people are asking, why does this game have an M rating?
It has an M rating?
Mm-hmm.
Even Cole didn't notice.
I didn't. I really didn't. There are some character deaths, but it's not. I mean, the cutscenes and what have you, they're not. I'm desperately like trying to find a reason why they would. There's not one. There's no reason for an M. I'm not sure. But no, I don't know why. I'm sorry. I don't have a good answer for that.
Helpful. Thanks.
You're welcome.
So I know this is a game that released last gen on PS3, Xbox 360. Did you play the original version at all?
I didn't. I didn't even know until after I had already played it when you gave it to me for review. And then somebody else had mentioned to me, and they were like, "Oh, I played it on 360." I was like, "It was on 360?" So I didn't know. I don't know if there's anything particularly that's been changed, or if it's just a remaster in that regard.
Well, there goes the question I was going to ask.
Yeah, I had you off. I had you off at the pass there. Sorry.
I will say I appreciate the fact that THQ Nordic has been doing a lot of re-releases of games like this. We covered Lock's Quest that got a re-release. I know Titan Quest got a re-release on PC with the Anniversary Edition. It's cool that THQ Nordic, since the death of THQ and now the rebirth, it seems like they're trying to do everything they can to take these games that kind of slipped under the radar last gen and give them a fresh start and another chance.
Yeah, you can't be mad at it. And if there was one that they had to do, this one was a good one to go with. If they were like picking limited amounts of games to remaster and bring back, this was definitely a good one. One of my favorite aspects of it, I did mention immediately that it's gorgeous, and I stand by that. It's a 2D side scrolling, but it's more of like a 2.5D. Is that the enemies can come out from behind you. They can come from the bottom or the corners of the screens, or even from like midway. They will enter the screen from the center, like from a different, half dimension, if you will. So it's more like 2.5. And then during some of the cutscenes, when you're attacking the bosses, the camera will pan and the plane will pan with the camera. And even, like you can tell it's a large 3D world, even though at the time of the battle, you're limited to one section at a time.
Gotcha.
So it really gives a feel of like this huge aero battle is going. I don't have right words tonight. It's been a long day. But this huge battle is just going on around you, and you really get that sense. And then to top that off, there are some chapters where you will play as one faction and one character and experience one section of the battle, and then you will experience another part of the battle by replaying that same moment in time, but from another character's perspective somewhere else on the battlefield. And you would only pick it up if you're paying attention to the dialogue that, oh, hey, I've heard this dialogue when they were fighting elsewhere. So it's a really neat way to let you experience the full scale of these battles. This is a really epic fight that's going on in this campaign, and it's really interesting to just get to see it from various viewpoints.
Cool. So that brings us to the question: $20. What's your verdict on this one?
Given that it is so hard, and there are on top of the campaign, I played it on normal. and that's the lowest difficulty it can go. There's also a hard and insane. And the extra challenge levels you mentioned in the intro, those specifically say in parentheses for experienced players. If you're not good at shmups, you're wasting your time even clicking those buttons. I wasted my time clicking those buttons.
Nice.
So,
that's very good to hear.
Yeah. I was just like, push the button, move. Ah, I'm dead. Okay, well, that went well. From a more casual player, I would say try it because it is difficult and it's not for everybody. If you're not really, a huge fan of that genre, if you're not already experienced and really good at these kind of bullet hell games, you're going to have a tough time with it. You might not enjoy it because you're not going to get as far. You're going to feel like you're not progressing without some serious time and effort. That said, I would easily tell somebody who is a big fan of shmups that this was just an absolute buy it. This is a gorgeous game, a really intriguing story. It's just really fucking hard.
Well, that seems to be a theme with some of the games this episode. But thank you so much for covering the game for us. That is it for the show tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the premiere episode of Ball Squad. Cole, do you have any final words to end the show?
No, I never do. I don't know why you asked.
Well, then I guess all we could say is Ball Squad! Ball Squad! Oh!
a house ball.